And we are live. Welcome to Bout That Life Podcast. If you are here and you've been with the community, you've been with us, rocking with us for a while, really appreciate you. Again, maybe consider do that HBO special, help a brother out, get that subscribe button, hit that like button, share it, please. But again, even if you're not and you're not subscribed, hopefully this information helps you, your parents, athletes, coaches, directors, anybody out there. That's all this is for me, man. Passion project with free game to hopefully help you guys navigate this this athletic space, obviously namely basketball, and this basketball AAU space. But got a really cool guest for you guys. I'm really excited about this because I think it is definitely a very unique perspective that I think a lot of parents can learn from this. That's quite honestly who this episode's going to be primarily targeted to. So please just go ahead, check the intro out. See you when you get back.
Hey, Bout That Life Podcast. If you're not a subscriber, you need to be. You have to be. You're learning about the game. You're helping your young athlete on and off the court. Check it out. Bout That Life Podcast.
From the YBA Phenix Fitness 24/7 basketball facility in Rocklin, California, it's Bout That Life Podcast with your host, Coach C.Collins and Coach MJ.
Start 3, 2, 1, let's go.
Hey, how you doing? Welcome to Bout That Life Podcast. This is your host, Coach C.Collins, and here we are with another episode to give you guys some insight on basketball life. Everything in between, you know, a little bit of free game, a little bit of understanding of how to navigate for your youth athlete the best approach, the best way to do it. Again, if you are listening on the audio side, muchly appreciated. I look at the figures, the numbers all the time, and I am consistently just trying to give you guys not only good guests, but good insight, maybe different perspectives of seeing the game, of understanding the game, anything I could do to help. And I'm going to continue to keep trying to do that. But with all that being said, let's get right to my guest. This is, I think, going to be a really, really good episode for parents listening. This is your episode mainly. This is mainly geared towards you guys. That's why I asked him to come in. I've known him a long time when I was a younger man and watching his son progress to where he is. And of course, I'll leave links for that episode for you guys to check out. And I definitely highly say, check it out because it will bring a lot of things full circle. We're going to talk about in this episode. But I definitely think this is just going to be one of those podcasts that'll really hopefully give a lot of great information, a lot of nuggets of knowledge, hopefully, because as we see the game evolve, as we see AAU basketball evolve, as we see, the rules changes, just everything. I think we can get swept up in the hype a little too much, and we got to kind of remind ourselves, or at least have people who've gone through the experience that can remind us, relax. It's going to be okay. Relax. We all want our kids to be the best version of ourselves. We always want our kids to do better than us. But I'm big on giving information out to a lot of people. But without further ado, let me introduce Jalen Wells' father, Fred Wells. Thanks for being here, man. Really appreciate it.
No problem.
So
happy to be here.
No, this is huge, and I think, like I said, this is going to help a lot of people. First off, let me say this, obviously congratulations for your son and all his success thus far. I'm sure just as a parent, you're always, I'm a dad myself, so I know how I want my kids watching my 11-year-old being able to run with the ball in his hand makes me happy. So I can only imagine how you feel, obviously, watching your son performing on the highest stage of that basketball has to offer. And that has to be an amazing feeling. But again, thanks for just taking the time to come here. The first question straight up I want to ask you is, you know, you've seen enough. You're still working in the community in basketball and whatnot. What are some of the good and bad that, you know, you can say of AAU basketball where it sits today in 2025?
All right, I'm working with about 9 kids now, and with those 9 kids, we're kind of putting them through similar pathways that Jalen went through. In the there's different levels of AAU, so it's just important to understand what AAU is out there. I just had a conversation with the dad today who says they have their girl on a AAU team. It's a brand new AAU team. This person's just putting together, and they're not really traveling or doing anything like that. Yeah. So that's important to know. What do I want for my child, right? So if you have a child who's comfortable with basketball and understands the process, then you're ready to have them compete. And when you want them to compete, do you want them to travel? And then those are the questions you start asking. Local, do we stay local, or do we travel? Right. And then what kind of circuit when you travel? Yeah. There's a high level circuit, and then there's in the middle. Yep. So what I'm doing now is just going out in the community and meeting different people like we met, and I kind of watched your program and kind of seeing how you interact with your team, and and then look at the competition level. There's a lot more to say. Right. No, I get it. Like, I mean, you know, as you're going, like you said, with the kids you have, you know, and obviously looking at Jalen's journey, you know, what are the pros you could take out of this AAU journey? And, you know, maybe, like I said, what are some of the cons you could take out of it? I would say, I would more go with your enjoyment is your kid doing something on the court. So that's what you have. They have to do something on the court if they're going to go anywhere, and they got to do something on the court and want to do something on the court if you're going to have fun. Yes. And so we got to get the joy first. So I always say I put them in camps, like just easy camps, and then they dribble and they win a prize or something like that, and they feel good. And then you get them in a rec league, just an easy old rec league. You coach it. You don't even know how to coach. Just coach it anyways. And then the kids just run up and down and shoot the ball, and they make it, and they're happy, and everybody's happy. The parents happy. You just want happiness at the beginning. And then you start to see they like to dribble a little more. They're a little comfortable with it. Then that's when you kind of put them in a more competitive league, and then see how they respond in that competitive league. And you can look and see how they're getting their playing time. Are they still sitting on the bench, or are they getting pulled out? If they're still sitting on the bench, then I say go take them and go get more work. Right. And then you get up to your AAU, you start finding your AAU team, you start looking for, people start asking. Most of the time, AAU teams will find you. Yes, that's true. It's bizarre, but anyway, they find you. Right. But basically, you can ask a couple people who are in AAU, and people will give you those names, and then you just go out and search that AAU team. Then when you get to the different AAU teams, they all have their spill, and I don't want to be negative or positive, but on the negative, they may give you, I asked someone to offer me tennis shoes, and you're going to have all the playing time, and you're going to be the greatest kid, and you're going to be number one. I went to another AAU team, and I went to their first practice, and their guy, because they don't know my guy. Yeah, I just came in and brought my guy. Right, and their guy is taking on the whole team. This is practice. Okay. So he's doing dribble, and my son's sitting here wide open, and he just dribble, spin move, all this stuff, and coach is all happy about what this guy's mood is. Right. Instead of teaching the game. There was no teaching, and the rest of us were sideline spectators. Okay. Well, I didn't come to spectate. Right. So you want your son to grab Jalen, we snatched up, and I went to the next AAU. It was a brand new AAU team in Roseville, so we jetted off over there. So that's kind of the game. Okay. That's kind of the positive. So I think that was brought in some of the pros and some of the cons. Once you find your AAU team, the AAU team that fits your child, you're gonna be good. Right. I look for AAU teams that look like they would translate to
D1 college.
Okay. All right.
So I like seeing spacing and movement. And again, that's going to be a little more basketball knowledge to make that decision. But that's how I landed where I landed.
Yeah, no doubt. No, and I laugh. I talk about this with even some of my friends. Because remember, sophomore year, I tried to recruit Jalen, and I remember you told me, when we ran into each other at Harwood after the draft and all that, you said it basically came down to Rose City and me, like my program, and obviously Rose City worked out, and more power to them, and shout out to them and their program. But
and I don't want to not to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
But before I had that conversation, there was that other AAU team, the one I'm talking about.
Yeah,
that's the one that led me to Rose City.
Yeah.
And we already had spoken to you.
Yeah.
So now it was just a decision of
right. And again, no knock on them. They Brandon and what he does there. They got a good, solid program. They do what they do. Whenever I play against them, it's always good battles. Last year when we played them, they kicked my ass by like 30. But no, much respect. I'm always big on respecting my competitors, right?
Yeah.
But it's always funny how life circles that way, that it was a flip of the coin, and maybe he could have played for me, maybe he could have played for them, but again, ultimately it worked out for him. But no, that's good insight, especially as a parent, like you said, finding the fit that is for your child, which is the right fit, right? And every kid has their own lane. At least that's the analogy I say. I say every kid has their own lane. Some are going to progress very fast. Some are going to progress gradually, right? But typically everybody hits the same destination if you, like you said, you're performing, right? If you're performing. And when so I want to ask you, from the perspective of a parent, what's big for you? Is it more like game experience, practice, or training, or do you kind of need a balance of all three? Because you know the game, and on top of that, Jalen even alluded to it in his episode. There was plenty of conversations between dad and him, plenty of car rides, plenty like, hey man, you got to do this, and you could even see it like on your social media, the old videos of Jalen working out, and just you could see the story, right? So obviously there's details we might not know, but I'm just curious, now that you look at the body of work, do you look at, is your perspective is like I said, maybe a little more emphasis on training, or maybe a little more emphasis on game reps or practice time, or just kind of what's your best formula that you think works to get the best out of kids?
All three.
Okay.
There's no, the weight is important on all three, and what we did is I divided into sections. So you have your strength and conditioning, and then you have your skills training, and then you have your AAU team, rec league, whatever you're in, the game where you're gonna put these other two things into practice. And so you had to win in strength and conditioning. Okay. So the competition starts right then.
Right.
So when you're not, until you beat everybody that's on that court or in that training.
Yeah.
Whether it's push-ups, whether it's sit-ups, whether it's running suicides. You have to be number one. That's what we're pushing for as parents when we're sitting here on the sideline saying, I'm bringing you here to win. So winning is already being established.
Right.
And then you go to your skills training. You're going to be number one. Now, whether you can be weak, but we're going to keep working on it.
Right.
And you're going to come back, and then you're going to be able to, if you're not shooting well from, if you're shooting corner shots or something like that, or doing left hand, right hand layups or something like that. If it doesn't look good in skills training, we're going home. Okay. Now we're going to the gym, go to 24-hour fitness or CalFit, and we're doing our workout. Okay. And then we're getting ready for practice. We're not even thinking about the game.
You're right.
Because you're going to come back and be best in practice. And when you work on all those skills, now you're best in practice. Why? Is because if you want playing time, you want the coach to want you on the floor.
Yes.
And then, but those two don't translate to success on the floor, because you also now got to be confident, understand the game, get yelled at, and all the other things that can happen when you get on the floor.
Right.
So that's why you put them in something successful first. You put them in a rec league, and they're better player.
And building that confidence, right?
That's all you want right now.
Yeah.
You just want confidence. All you want them is not be afraid to use the two skills that you're working on. They're running up and down, and they're shooting in layups or whatever they do. And then when you see that they're playing well, now you're ready to up the game.
Right. Okay. One thing we talked about before that I thought was really cool. You brought it up to me when we were talking at Harwood that I definitely wanted to talk about on the show was you said, as Jalen, like in high school and college and whatnot, you very similar to like what Kobe Bryant said, you gave him a list, right? Like kind of a kill list, like, hey, these are guys in front of you. Yes. And you gotta outperform that. Can you talk about that a little bit or give a little insight to that? Because I just thought that was I believe in the power of visualization, right? Of seeing your goals in front of you, writing them down, and things like that.
I do have vision boards, and for the 9 kids I'm working with, I have them put out their first vision board.
Yeah.
What I did was just say Folsom, because all the way up to 8th grade, it's forming the guy.
Yes.
So I don't know when you start. But once you go to high school, if you start in high school, then obviously you're going to be behind. So you got a lot of work to do before you have success and get playing time in your high school.
Yep.
So, but Jalen did the work. He started in first, second grade in that area. So by the time we got to Folsom, we talked. We looked at the coach. We watched 3 games, and we went to 3 other high schools to figure out which one. We were at Country Day, and we needed to go to a high school and a D1 high school with visibility.
No doubt.
So
it does matter. That's going to be one of my questions too. But go on. Go ahead.
So then we know we had to go in the summer section. So find out what spring summer section that these high schools have, basically for their kids to get in, when they start their high school season. So we sign up for that. Jalen killed it, right? So are you going to be able to get the playing time?
Yeah.
When you do that. So he didn't, but we saw there were football players
that were coming in.
They were there. Yeah. They were the stars, right?
Yeah.
And so we didn't take their spots.
Yeah, that's how it works.
And so that's what it is. It's like, okay, you're in your slot 11
right
now, right? They got 15 kids, and you look like you're about 11.
Right.
And you're going to have to take each of these guys' spots.
Yeah.
And so that's all it was just take 10, 9,
right,
8, 7.
Eventually work your way up. I like that.
And then one gets mad and he quits.
Okay.
Or you just go up 2 steps.
Right. Yeah, no, that's true. That's how it works.
Bye.
That's how that works. No, 100%.
And then the next thing you know, you're on the floor. But with Wall, he'll pull you, he'll throw you right back off the floor.
Yeah.
So he'll snatch you off, and the goal now was how can I stay on the floor? Because even if I just miss if I run in the wrong spot, he's gonna pull me out.
Ready to pull you.
If I shoot too soon, he's gonna pull me out. So you gotta figure out. You gotta learn the coach, and then you gotta work with your kid. We just do what the coach says, but we need to get their spot.
Right.
So if you played great defense with Mike Wall, then you're on the floor.
Okay. So
don't worry about shooting no more.
Yeah, that's my philosophy.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Make them get mad at you for not shooting.
Right. No, that makes sense. I mean, like, because your son's journey is just really so cool, and he would on the episode he was very transparent about a lot of it, and I think he articulated it very well. It's just saying, hey, I came in as a 5'8" freshman, just trying to fight for the JV spot, right? Then, it didn't really click to him until, senior year, really. Like, I know junior year was solid, but senior year is when it really, came together. For those darker days, which I'm sure he had, or, those days of doubt that he had, how did you as a father, maybe keep him encouraged or, give him that extra nudge, like, nah, man, you're not quitting. Like, you know what I mean? How did you go?
No nudge. We just put him in other things.
Okay.
Just kept them playing.
Okay.
The goal is basketball. Yeah. I love basketball. You find something going on in the community, go. go to your gym
Right.
in the morning and go beat everybody up.
Okay.
Take all your anger out on everybody else.
Right.
And coach,
And then get back
are
to
you
it.
ready? Now can I play, coach?
And get back to
And,
work.
and he keeps you on the bench again. You go back out and you go beat up some people again.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how you do it, and that's how Jalen did it.
Okay. No, that's
So he had 2 gym memberships, and then he just heard things in the community, or you found a quick rec league or an AAU that's doing something for the week, for the weekend. You go on those things.
okay. How I mean, obviously he put in a crazy amount of work. You know, you were there, you saw it. For the parents out there, can you maybe speak on so they understand, kind of what it really takes, not from just the kid / athlete side. I think that's very understood that the kid has to work, but I don't think they realize how much the parents have to be invested as well.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to kind of talk on your side of it as the dad of the NBA player. How much work did you have to put in to kind of help your son's goal?
Yeah, so that's funny because today I talked to I had the 9 kids. So I talked to 2 of the parents and ones that I really like their kids. I think their kids are gonna have the opportunity to go far. And then I let them know, okay, we get credit.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, we get more credit than them sometimes.
Yes.
And I'm about to tell you why. And I start to explain why. I said, you got to get them to those places. So they got to get their strength and conditioning. You got to get them to the games. You got to get them in the game. And then when they start to get better, you're traveling. And the next thing is your financial journey. There's a financial journey that you need to understand because there's a lot of money involved in this. And as your kid gets better, do you want your kid to get better?
Right.
Because they do.
Yeah.
There's going to be some money to this.
It is a financial investment.
So you got the AAU, they got their startup costs, and then they got your flights and your journeys and your food. And do you want to go? So you got to pay for the trips for yourself. They don't pay for you.
Yeah.
So you have that financial journey. Then you got to build their character, because no one's going to care about you if your kid don't got character. So I'll ask them first about, what do you think of your person's character? I'll ask what their mental toughness, and then what is when they get constructive criticism, how did he react to constructive criticism? What if they miss? I said, my son scored 30 and got 0 for 5 next game. I said, but when I check on my son, he's smiling.
Yeah.
And I said, so how does your child respond to when they don't have success that day?
Right.
And so that is you, the parent.
That's the parent.
You got to bring that up, and then we got to get them on the academic side. Yeah. Because I'm not going to say my kid's going to be D1, though. That's what I'm striving for, is get them into a D1 for scholarship. But they may be D3. I mean, it's okay D3, because if you have a 4.5 average of GPA, they'll find the scholarships to minimize your costs into a D3.
Yep.
And so that's pretty much the drive for my son. I know now there's some new wrinkles because of the JUCO rule.
Yeah, the JUCO rule.
But before that, that's what we had to run against, and that's the parent and both parents. Yeah. If you got your parents separated, you guys got to come together. Got to come together on this journey. And I know of people who have separate, and they and when they have the discussions, that's part of why they don't take your kid.
Right.
So it's a rough one for the parents. It's not easy. If you guys are together, thank God, my wife and I, it didn't matter if we weren't together on everything else. The one thing we were together on was Jalen's journey.
Yeah.
So,
no, that makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. I mean, and you know, like I said at the beginning of the show, I think parents need to hear this episode because, you know, everyone now, and as Jalen is doing better and better and better, they see the final product. Right. They just don't know all the steps. and
all the stuff in the dark.
Yeah, and that's kind of why I'm really glad you're here, because I think you can offer that insight so parents can really understand. Like here's just a pretty good question, and just off the top of my head, like, how many hours would you say Jalen has spent in that gym working on his craft? Like, you know, it's you give me a ballpark range. What do you think?
Yeah, so you got to think about the age. If they're young, then you're in elementary school, then it's not going to be as long.
Right.
But as they get toward that teenager, they're living in the gym. They're not even coming home half the time. They're going to a gym.
Right.
They're going to the street to shoot some balls. I like to say, I always tell people to get gym memberships so you can get them into the gym.
Get them in there, yep.
But you teach them first how to work the gym. So I give them the circuit, show them what we do, and I might do it with them.
Yeah.
And then when you do it with them, then this is how they do it. So now when they come in by themselves, that they're doing those same things.
What age would you think is where the kid, where the athlete needs to take over? You know, because parents, we gotta push it first, right? Because you know, your 8-year-old's not gonna drive himself to the gym yeah. But I'm like, at what age do you think where it has to be you or this ain't gonna happen? You know what I mean? What age do you think is kind of that sweet spot?
Yeah, I'm gonna say it varies because I have one son that we pretty much had to keep a little prod on him almost the entire time.
Right. Funny how that works, right? Our kids are so different.
Yeah. And Jalen, I gave him the keys to the car.
Yeah.
At 16,
and he was just at.
It was in one spot.
Right.
It was at a gym. It wasn't that gym. It was the other gym.
Okay.
But it only drove to the gym.
All right. Fair enough. You're right.
So I would say, I mean, literally 4 hours. As a matter of fact, when he was going through the process, he would come to the house and then be up at 4 to go to Lim, a strength and condition trainer, and then get off and come back, eat breakfast, and then he's going out with Dante, got something at noon time. Yeah. And then he comes back, eats some food, and then he's back out playing with his friends on the court. Right. And then the next time he's got another person scheduled at 7 p.m., so he's at that person at 7 p.m. Easily 5 hours, 6 hours.
In like one day, putting in dedicating that craft. Yeah.
Sometimes more, sometimes less. Sometimes you have to tell him to stop. But Jalen didn't stop.
Yeah.
I think they put spies on Jalen when they put him in a thing. They told him he has a rest on Sunday.
Right.
I think they had to put armed guards to keep him from leaving. But it's that mentality. Yeah. It's that work ethic like that.
Yeah.
That's
what makes you special.
That's when you know you have one.
Yeah. I talk to the kids I coach about that because, you know, for my level, like you said, you've seen kind of my progression over the years as a coach, right? And, you know, my level, the YBA Elite, you know, the Team Rise level, you know, I tell the kids, you guys are the group of kids that we believe want to play college ball. That's why you're here in this division. You're not doing, you know, the bulk of YBA is kind of all those in between kids. The kids that kind of like it, maybe figuring it out, you know, thing. But this group, my groups, are the kids that are like, no, I'm really dedicated to this. Even if they do other sports, whatever. But they're like, I'm dedicated to this. I potentially want to be a high-level varsity player to eventually maybe be a high-level college player, right?
Yep.
And I talked to the parents about this. I said, it's your journey just as much as theirs. And if you're not willing to accept that and put in the work for it, it's not going to happen. It's just not, you know, like, of course there's anomalies. There's always exceptions. You can find some one random kid who figured it out on his own, but let's be honest, that's just not very common, right? The parents,
usually that kid that's the anomaly pulled their parents in.
Yes. Very
They're the
much
ones
so.
that made their, say, come on, Mom, come on, Dad. I need to go to the gym.
And now it's like, and it's amazing to me because the kids have so many more resources now, especially because of the popularity of basketball right now. I personally think the community is thriving in basketball. The culture needs to be, you know, checked a little bit, but the community itself is really big and growing. Yeah. So you got, you know, shooting machines everywhere, gym access everywhere, like, you know, all this stuff. I didn't even grow up with this stuff. You know what I mean? Like, so I tell kids, you really don't have any excuse anymore. You know, it just really comes down to, do you want to do this? You know, and if it's like, listen, if you just like basketball and you just want to play it to have fun and be a part of something, I'm totally with that. I don't got no problem with it. But that's not who I speak to.
Yeah.
I'm trying to speak to the kid that's looks at your son and goes, I want to be that one day, right? And I just tell him, okay, well that roadmap is hard.
because you have all these things, and it happens with everything, technology, everything else, is that there's a lot of that. So information in my day was hard to get, and it's hard. It took days for it to get there, that type of thing. But today you have 1,000 information, but you still have to understand that you're still human, and your blood still flows the same way, and you're not any faster.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is that everybody tells me they have like 1,000 things. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to go run over here. I'm going to go do this. So when I hear you all over the place, I call that chasing rabbits.
Yeah.
That means you're chasing like 22 rabbits. If you're chasing more than one rabbit, you're not going to catch it.
Yes.
So you need to focus. And so it's really teaching people how to focus now. It's not there. You don't have to, it's not automatic.
No.
And so, because we only had one place to go, or you only had this place to go. Now you don't. You have everything, and everyone's calling you up.
Right.
Everyone's telling you they got the best. Everyone's telling you they suck.
True.
All that stuff, you hear all the negative for everywhere.
Yeah.
That is why it's hard to be a parent too, because you got to sift all that stuff and filter all that out, and get that to where am I going? Where am I going to get my results? The kids got to learn the same thing. You got to, not only you got to sift through this stuff, but you got to get your kid to learn how to focus. And so it's an intentional thing to work on focus. And then the life is full of distractions. For me, for all of us.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're trying to lose weight, well, you always find an excuse not to lose weight.
Yes.
I mean, it's lots of food, and you could call it up, and it comes.
Yeah.
It comes in your house.
Now,
You know what I'm
exactly.
saying?
You only got to leave the house to get the food. You're right. 100%.
So it's taking out. It's being a gigantic filter and filtering that you have to see. That's why I have the vision board, because I want you to see where you're going, and when you see where you're going, now let's just build that.
Okay.
And then that's our focus.
Okay.
With a kid, same thing. You know, they have an academic lane, and they have the workout lane, the skills training, the conditioning, and then playing the game.
Yeah.
And we got the financial lane.
Right. That's
and
the
how
parent,
we build all that financial lane and build that his character. And then we got to teach him how to focus.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I didn't take the cell phone away.
Right.
I didn't take his stuff away.
He's got to learn. He's got to learn to do that.
If you ever have a chance to get Netflix or whatever you want by yourself, and that happens, you're gonna go away. When they go to college, you're not there to hold their hand.
Yes.
And so, are they gonna take that extra time to go to the gym? No, they're gonna go hang out with their friends. So that the focus when you get them. When my son was going to high school, getting ready to go to college, it was all there.
Yeah.
I didn't have to worry what happened once he got to Sonoma.
Yeah.
And so it's an intentional work. It's hard for me. I have to learn how to focus myself.
Yeah.
And then I got to teach my child how to focus. And then we don't chase 1,000 rabbits. We need to chase one. And we need to build that lane.
Well, shit, that rabbit worked out for him. Shit.
We put NBA on the map, on the visual thing,
right,
and had that thing circled. But we didn't put NBA. We put Rookie of the Year.
Rookie of the Year,
so,
really?
Because if you get to your journey, that's not success.
No.
Because if you don't perform, you're out.
Yeah.
The next day, that's NBA basketball.
You're right.
And you went to D1 and you're not playing.
Yeah.
And then your scholarship is gone in next quarter or when the semester's over.
Yeah.
So you can't see that as your end game. So you have to put the end game beyond your actual goal.
Okay.
So we already put Rookie of the Year.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Now that's cool.
And
that
so
really cool.
that puts you a year into your first contract.
Yeah. That is amazing. No, that's good. See, that's what I said. People need to hear this. They need to hear this. I mean, before we move to some of the other points, I did want to talk about his AAU journey. Because obviously my side of the show mainly geared towards AAU. Obviously, I talk high school basketball too, because I know all the coaches in my area, in this area, and I believe to a degree they all kind of know who I am too.
Yeah.
But I know Mike Wall, and I know he's I want to say me and him are kind of a cut from the same cloth. He's a tough coach, you know what I mean? Yeah,
I can say
he's been doing it a long time. He's been doing it a long time. Had some players come out of Folsom that are clearly successful, and but you throw that in conjunction working with Rose City and what they did for him on the AU platforms, and creating your own lane. That's what Jalen did. He created his own lane.
Yeah.
Like I said, he talked about in the episode, he said he had 2 schools looking at him. Sonoma State obviously be one of them. He went there. He didn't go right off the bat and get a full ride. He had to prove himself and work and all that stuff. As a dad, being right, by his side during all that, like, what kind of tidbits or maybe advice did you offer him or talk to him about? Like when he's sitting down, I'm assuming, or I'm guessing at some point he sat down, Dad, I think I want to go to Sonoma State. Mm-hmm. And it's like, what did you say? Were you just like, good job? Like, just curious your outlook.
When it came to the decision process, it was always A, and B. So B is you have to go. I can't stand people going to school and telling about all their certificates. Yeah. That drives me crazy. I mean, I don't care about your certificate. I want to know what you're doing.
Yes.
And this is a certificate behind me. Perfect. Good.
But
that's not it.
Right.
The certificate. We're going to, when we choose our school, we're going to learn business. Mm-hmm. That's the choice he made. There was going to be an A and a B because we don't know what's going to happen. Your dream is that. My dream is that you have something when you come out of college. That was it. Mm-hmm. And so when we had the 2 dreams, he had to meet so he actually spoke to the business dean.
Okay.
To make sure that he was going to be supported in that. So he was interviewing them.
Right.
Because we already knew Sonoma wanted them. Mm-hmm. So now is this college good for my B choice? Because
that's for, you want to make sure your son is right, educated and equipped to be a functioning good member of society. No, I know what you mean.
Yeah, because if his career stopped, the goal was college.
Yes.
For me.
Yeah.
That's where you got my buy-in.
Yeah. And
so you're in college now. I want a degree.
Yeah.
Right?
That was like my mom.
Yeah. That's what we want.
Right.
And so you'll walk out and something were to happen at that stage, we're still okay, this is over. Let's finish this. And what are we going to do here? You got to be ready to pick them up.
Okay.
If this doesn't work out, you got to be ready for the next pickup. Because parents are, but if you throw in everything, you jump in with them on this one thing and it fails, then you're angry. I see some of them. They're angry. They look at you like they're mad at you. But it's like, I didn't put all mine in one basket.
Right.
We went over here too. He made it. He had his success, but that's
okay.
So yeah, I would definitely say have a good strong B, a plan B.
When he decided to do the transfer portal, right? Mm-hmm. Walk me through that. He so I'm sure he called you or talked to you and said, "Hey, Dad, I'm thinking of doing this." What was your immediate reaction?
When it came to the transfer portal? Sorry.
No, you're good.
I made a deal. When you go to, now you went to Sonoma State. If you're not number 1 at Sonoma State, you're not ready for D1.
100%. Yeah.
So
and he was number 1.
You can see his discussion. You see how we have these conversations because this is it. So what I told him he had to do was take that Sonoma team has to make the playoffs before you can consider transfer. Mm-hmm. This team was ranked number 10. Mm-hmm. There was no hope. Even when I said it, it almost sounded like no hope. But I told him that your team has to make it to the champ. And by God, I'm like, they're playing to get into the league. And I'm like, they're in. This guy did it.
He said, it sounds like you challenge him and he meets the challenge.
And when it was done, it's like, all right, go tell your coach.
Yeah.
And then he called his coach, set up a lunch date, and coach was very supportive.
That's
of the
good.
decision.
That's really cool.
He already knew after. I think he scored 38 points with the D1 league that we're not going to be able to keep this kid.
But it is cool that, like what you just said there, that the coach there was supportive of that action, because some coaches obviously.
So to this day, you figure that the only score he really cared that really matters to him was what happened at Sonoma State. They would think it was the best part of his journey.
Okay.
It seems like D2. How could you like to? No, that was the best part of his journey. Matter of fact, when you went to the game on the Kings game, it was his people from Sonoma.
They were there.
That were there, and that's who he hung out with.
Man, that's so cool. That is so cool.
Yeah.
And then so now he's at the D1, obviously having that good season, because again, you're watching this, and I can only imagine what it's like watching that journey. And then doing really well, and now he's looking like, hey, I got a shot to maybe make it to the league. You know what I mean? Like, did you guys talk about that a little bit at any point, or was it just kind of
I'm gonna say pretty soon Jalen started, I think, disconnecting.
Really?
He's not letting me. You're starting to see, because he's also looking at his age.
Yeah,
and so
He's a young
also,
man.
You created a man. And you have a man now.
He's a
and
young
so
man.
this is not I'm dad, but I'm a man. And so you have that,
right?
And so he's earning he's doing his own steps. He's starting to make his own decision. When we went through all when all the scores were calling, millions of them. He just handled it all, and then he sat down and gave us the ones that he wants us to sit down with.
Okay.
We just pretty much turned that over now.
Okay.
And he did a phenomenal job. He was on it.
Yeah.
So once he got to Washington State, he started doing well. Again, we drew the seats that you need to take.
Right.
But
the kill list.
Thank you, Dennis Rodman's kid. What's his name?
Oh, I know you're talking about. But
thank you. The Vanderbilt kid that went to Vanderbilt. Thank you. And then there's two kids. One went to the NBA, and another one tried to get in the NBA. Right. Thank you, because that was 4 spots.
Right.
That was eliminated, and so we only had 2 more spots to go.
There you go. See, that's divine intervention right there.
So all he had to do now is perform.
Right.
But the coach showed us the metrics on what they need to do to get the playing time.
Okay.
And so I just called him up and asked him, so are you meeting these metrics? And he says, yeah, I was number 1 here, number 2 here, number 2. We kept staying at number 2 on shooting. There was another guy that took his shooting, but all the other metrics, he was on top.
Yeah.
And so it was just a matter of time. I already knew that at one point he's going to get put on the court and stay on the court.
Wow.
And
that's
so
really cool.
that was pretty much the journey. And then when it came to the NBA thing, that's just him now starting to feel himself.
When you saw that, or walk me through draft night or whatever,
what I'll say is that there's the other thing that you have to start thinking about is your NBA agent. That's your next challenge. So I had a good guy. And he was pretty much like an NIL agent because he was early. And so he kind of helped navigate us through all of this. And then there was a time that I have a rule of 3.
Okay.
Where I have to talk to 3 different people.
Okay.
I almost broke that rule and went with this guy.
Yeah.
And now I still like this guy, but he was new. He was beginning his
his brand and his business.
His brand and his business, and I hope he's still doing. I hope he's doing well.
Yeah.
And so he. Someone else kept telling me about this other guy, so I listened to this other one. I didn't like. I mean, I don't like when you sell me stuff.
Okay.
We're gonna give you the Nike contract. I don't like that.
Yeah.
Well, I only care about one thing. He just needs to be on the team.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Right. And I had another rule: is you never chase money. So that was why we were at Washington. That's why we end up we don't chase money. Mm-hmm. It's what's best for your child.
Okay.
And when I watch people chase money, and they fail often.
Right.
And so I never say that. Never chase money. Never chase money. Money will find you. Mm-hmm. I'm going to say that 1,000 times to everybody out there. Money will find you. If you have something, money will find you. Mm-hmm. So once he I think I kind of lost it.
Oh no, you're saying once you got an agent, once you were looking through
So
your
it was
agents.
getting the agent, and then when we found the agent, we had the third agent. When we went there, we just our eyes just met. Me and Jalen's eye met. We knew this was the one.
Like this, the guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Excellent presentation, beautiful thing, but they just seemed genuine, and it wasn't. The other one we didn't take, not because I just didn't think they were going to be experienced enough to take a guy that nobody knows. Jalen Wells, no one knew him. Still at this point, not a single GM seemed to know who he was.
Yeah, he was an unknown,
and
no doubt.
So we needed someone who can do more than that. And I like that they had a lawyer on their staff, and that good. And so the draft process, with that guy.
How was that draft process? I'm pretty sure it's obviously a lot of paperwork, a lot of negotiating, but ultimately, like I said, it led up to that night, and his name got called and whatnot. Like because like I said, his episode, we talked about how he felt and whatnot, and he kind of told us how it all went down, how they like rushed you guys, and they were we got to hurry up and get here. But when you heard your son's name, and I'm sure you had a wave of emotions, but is there anything distinct that you can recollect from that night when you heard his name?
No, I would say, as a father, I see further down the line. I can't see the name yet.
Okay,
I'm going to say that. So I felt good that we're here.
Yeah.
But I know on my journey, once I became a manager, a leader, that was the work was really, that's where the pressure and everything to perform was for real. So everything that you did, and so you're just happy, just feeling happy about making it. And I think that was it. I wasn't done yet.
Yeah. You're just like, okay.
I wasn't done being happy.
No, man, that's I mean, no, you're right. Like, I mean, that's the type of real talk people need to hear. Like, especially like I said, with your insight, because I do think because you have a knowledge of the game, you're not a dad that like doesn't know basketball. That's basically what I'm saying. You know the game, you coach the game, you teach the game, you love the game. Right. And I think people need to hear that side,
Yeah.
And like I said, I hope something like that. Like I said, my kids are young, but hopefully I'm hoping for something like that for my son one day. And to be just on a side note, because me and Tiffany go way back and all that, but all your kids all your kids are.
She's a thug.
Yeah, like all your kids are like honestly really successful, really good people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And me being a younger black dad and sitting here with you, I'm hoping I can do. And the equivalent of that myself, you know what I mean? And I got 3 kids. I'm figuring it out every day. But
that's what it is, figuring it out.
Yeah, but no, like
I'm just the only thing I'm gonna say is you keep each kid individual.
Yeah.
Don't lump the kids.
I try to.
They each have their own journey.
Because funny enough, like I have 1 daughter, 2 sons. So it's like I'm figuring it out every day myself. So no, it's just really cool to sit down even from my side of it. I'm really like learning and absorbing, hearing from you, and I just hope I do right.
What happens is you'll know is when they believe in themselves. Jalen jumped into the draft. The plan was that he was going to do another year in college. That was my plan. That was me and we already were planning on trying to figure out is he going to go back to Washington or he's going to go these other 3 offers, and but we're going to sit and stand and have our little outfit on and just enjoy the whole
the college atmosphere.
Obviously, then I get a phone call. Dad,
I think I'm going to the league.
I'm going into the league, and it was near the NIL.
The
deadline
deadlines,
was Like, okay.
All right.
And then he used all his words against me. Those are all my own words I heard. And I said, all right.
Yeah, like, damn,
Then
I can't argue with this.
honey, he's going into the NBA.
How does mom feel about that? Like, was she kind of like, okay, let's see what happens?
She just kind of rides with it, but we both planned college.
Yeah.
We were in college. We didn't know which one it was going to be.
Right.
Right. But we were going to go to college.
Right.
And so he too, she just like, but Jalen has done it each time. And so she too, it's like, okay, let's see what happens.
He's clearly surpassed expectations. So, and then one last question before we move on. I wanted to, if you can just give, and I think you spoke to this kind of to a degree already, but I just want to ask straight up, what's the number one word of advice you can give to, parents and athletes on what's best for this journey, right? Because I know you spoke on it, like put them in the right culture, right atmosphere, let them enjoy the game, whatnot. But like, what's your number one thing? Like, you're sitting down with a mom and you say, or a dad, and you're like, hey, you got to do this. You know what I mean? You have to do this. This is the number one thing in order to help your child have success. What would you pinpoint that as?
It's just hard to say, but I'm going to say as a parent that you believe in their dream. It doesn't, when you talk about all my kids, I believed in their dream.
Yeah.
So it's that dream and that it comes out genuine. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
I'm here for you. So if I want to say that whatever their dream is, be behind it.
Okay.
Don't say that they can't. Don't be negative. Be behind that dream. He never believed that we didn't think he could make it.
He knew, or like you said, your kids always felt like
they always believe they're gonna make it.
What advice would you have for a young athlete that looks at, they might hear the show and go, man, how do I potentially get to that level or whatever? What would that number one thing be maybe?
Well, I'm going to say two, because you can't skip character. Your character has to be right.
Okay.
These guys care about character.
Yeah.
Every level. So Sonoma cared about, the D1 cared about, and then the Memphis couldn't believe his character could really be his character. Yeah. They said they had to call back 3 or 4 times to coach Sonoma, because I can't believe you got to tell me something that this kid did wrong.
No,
right?
and legitimately, just like I said, not cut you off, but yeah, I just got to speak on that. Jalen really is just a good young man, period. You know what I mean? And I just I want to advocate for that for anyone who's listening. Like, it ain't fake, it ain't no front. This kid is just a really good kid who just loves hoop. You know what I mean? I just don't know the way to put it.
Thing. It's gonna be work ethic. And so when you say the other word, but you can't separate the two. Mm-hmm. And so you gotta have a character, but you gotta have the work ethic. The work ethic, everyone's they're already telling you your son's at the gym again. Yeah. He's got to come out there. I got to go do this. I got to go stretch. He has a stretching routine. He hasn't this ethic. Matter of fact, we had to wait 15 minutes to do the Nike contract thing.
Yeah.
Because he had to go drive to the gym to get on the bike. So
Before
and then he's doing his
Nike
Nike contract conversation on the bike. But we all had to hold 15 minutes while he can get to the gym.
That's great, man.
That tells you.
Yeah.
And so if you want it, I don't know that's how all these other kids are that are making it, but I'm going to tell you, with Jalen, work ethic, like I said, they had to have, he was supposed to rest on Sunday. They had to probably put security guards on Sunday because he was looking for a gym.
That's how serious he is about
That's how serious.
All right.
He is about that. So work ethic is you instill that as a parent right from the beginning. I got my little 5-year-old. She does. I taught her how to cut her waffles and how to cook, crack eggs, and her chore is to put the utensils away. from the dishwasher after the dishwasher's done.
Yeah.
And that's her job.
Right.
And even if she was up late after she came back from the Golden State game.
Oh, nice.
And she was here. There was utensils. She had to go put them away. So you start the work ethic right now when they're young, way before they tell you their dream.
Yeah. I like that a lot. Well, let me move on to the next topic. We're here on for hot takes, and let's talk a little bit of NBA, right? Obviously, because Jalen had a huge game here back at his hometown. But before we get to that part, I always ask this of all my guests: what is your top 5 of all time players? Doesn't matter by position or whatever. It's your top 5 NBA players, MJ, LeBron, whatever. But give me your top 5.
MJ, the dude.
Yeah, he's the GOAT. I agree with you. I know we have people gonna have the LeBron and Kobe argument. Love Kobe, but MJ's the GOAT.
Yeah, and then go Kobe number 2 because Kobe is the same as Michael. Yeah. When I say, to me, a GOAT is the guy that you're gonna put the ball in and he's gonna score. I don't care if all 5 of them are gonna come after him. I think he can stop. I don't think LeBron can do it.
Right.
I would still be afraid of MJ and Kobe, right? So those 2, and then I like Magic Johnson because I love people who can share the ball.
Yep.
I think I don't know why today's point guards don't think that assist is the number I want to look at.
I know.
It drives me nuts.
I was going to talk to you about that.
Oh, God. It's assist. Assist. That's what you do as a point guard.
Right.
You can score. That's nice.
Right.
It's nice. You always can score. Assist.
Yep.
Please get your team involved. And if you got to score, 20 like Chris Paul has to sometimes, then go ahead and score that 20, 30 points. It's okay.
Yeah.
But only when you need to. Mm-hmm. So I like the Magic, and I like Shaq,
yep.
And then Dwayne Wade.
Okay, Dwayne Wade, nice.
And the reason why I like Dwayne Wade is because no one gives him credit. This is a little guard with no real support.
Yeah.
Mourning, and Shaq takes him to the championship. Mm-hmm. No one else had that kind of support. And it was a coach that no one believed in. Right. You just had Pat Riley as GM. Mm-hmm. I think Pat Riley was the coach, I think, at that time.
No, yeah, he was. Yeah. He was the coach. Yeah.
But there you go. Yeah. So you put that group. So that's why I use Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade is the man.
I like that. No, game thing, you can't argue with Dwayne Wade's resume and what he did for the Heat culture. So
and he was able to give up his position to let LeBron have his
exactly.
Thing. I'm all good. Just give me the ball when you need me.
All right, it's a good top 5. So let's talk about the Kings game. And for people listening or checking out on YouTube, Jalen and the Memphis came out here. That was Friday, right?
Yeah.
It was Friday. They came to the Kings, played the Kings. And was that Jalen's first game back, or had he already played?
That was his first. He played Sacramento Kings at home.
Yeah, but that was his first like home game. Sacramento or his homecoming, but his away game with them. And he didn't disappoint. Obviously, he dropped 30 points. I didn't see the rest of his stats, but I think didn't he have like 6 or 7 rebounds or something like that?
Yeah, I think it was 36 and 4.
Yeah, so he had obviously a really good stat line. And
no turnovers.
Yeah. and what people and this is obviously people outside of Sacramento I'm speaking to, what you also guys won't know is they had an article about it, but there was like 150 or 200 people there to support him, waiting to see him. And I thought the really, really cool part was they said he stayed after as long as he could and was taking pictures and signing autographs and just all that cool stuff. Can you speak about sitting in the stands, watching your son on that stage, watching him interact with the fans, watching, like you said, this young man you raised, doing all that, what was going through your mind and your feelings about it?
It's hard to, you shouldn't say that to me. Because I'm still I'm watching what you're doing, right? So still,
that's your baby.
How
man.
you shooting? Well, you defending well,
right? You said still critiquing it.
You're putting your part in defense and running the floor and doing
you're
the
still
loose
being
balls.
coach.
Yeah. That don't go away.
Right.
And so I'm watching all that.
Right.
And so it was nice. I was very happy for him that he got to perform the way he needed to perform in front of all the people that support him. So I'm glad. We always said the fan is, no matter where else, it's the fans. That's why we're here.
Okay.
Your job is to perform for the fans. The fans pay. I don't like paying that $300-$400 ticket.
Mm-hmm.
So when I come to my team, I want my team to win,
mm-hmm.
and I need them to look like they're going to try to win.
Yes.
And then I need my player to perform. That's what I want.
Okay.
I mean, I get to be angry with him when he doesn't, but that's the fan.
Yeah.
Right. And so, and then we got kids. They're looking up to you.
Yeah.
You have to address them.
Yeah.
You have to address them. For me, all the people that I work with supported me. Once I started looking for real at Washington, when I went to Washington State,
mm-hmm.
and they put on the Washington State clothes. I went to a meeting. I was late. I'm almost never late, but I was late that day.
Right.
I walk in and they all have on the Washington State shirt.
That had to be so cool.
That was awesome. So, and they all of them showed up that night. So he had like a line of people.
Yeah, I saw the photos.
That was crazy.
Is there anything you want to say to the Sacramento community themselves for being a village for your son?
Oh yeah, I appreciate all the mentors, all the people, and I've been calling some of them already for being there. Shout out to Dante, Dennis Bruner kind of started.
I saw like
AD.
I saw like Marcus Kirkland was there.
Shine,
Danielle was there.
Shine.
Gus was there too, I think, right? Or
I didn't see Gus. He may have been there, but I didn't see
but
him.
I'm just saying, like,
he's
all those people in his life were.
Yeah.
No.
So I really appreciate it. I appreciate it for my son to see that his town was here for him.
Yeah.
And he's there for SAC.
Yeah.
He wanted to stay in SAC.
I know.
He didn't want to go out somewhere else to put a name. He wanted SAC to have the product that came out of SAC to represent them. So, and then they showed up for him. So that was what I liked most about the whole thing.
And that was going to be my next question. What prompted you guys? I talked to Jalen on his episode about it. What prompted you guys to want to stay with a Sacramento-based, AU program, right? Because I when we talked, I said I'm sure the Soldiers approached you, the Team Lillards, and let's be real, they got big stages, they got free gear, everything's free, it's paid for, like they do have those options. Can't knock it. Like I wish. That's what I'm fighting for. I want something like that for my program, obviously, because as good as I think of a job we do here, the reality is this is funded by the parents and the community, right? And I would love to have a contract from a shoe company and pay for all these kids. Yeah. I'm just not at that spot. And for you as a dad who probably had options like that for your son, something clearly told you guys, you know what? Nah, let's stay in SAC and let's put, let's stay home, right?
Yeah.
Can you speak to that a little bit, or that process?
I could say a little bit, because since this is AAU, I watched some of the people go down the AAU path, and then they go to the stage. How you have the stage if you're the AAU team where everybody chuckles you. Yeah. And then I watch those parents make the choice to go to those AAU teams, and I see them sitting. They're sitting the whole time. They spent this money. They drove all the way to the Bay Area for practice. Yep. And they went to LA, wherever they were. Yeah. And then they're sitting on the big stage. My son to next court. Right. Playing whatever. He wasn't the special team. The cameras weren't on there. Right. But he's having fun playing basketball. He's having fun. So I would say that was really important, right? And then remind me the question.
Oh, sorry. Just what kept you wanting to stay?
Oh, and then it was just SAC, the players. I mean, I see all these people as mentor. I see you as a mentor, so I see Danielle and her special touch and everything she does.
Yep.
I really, really appreciate.
I'm getting her on the show too.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Oh my God, she's a good one. But everything that's happened for her, she deserves it because she's genuine about the game. Dante is just there for Jay. Call him up, always there. Goes to the games. That's special.
Yeah.
Charles Kidd has pushed him. He's the strength conditioning guy. His old school boxing, old school weights,
right.
Old school bicycle. But came in, but he just keeps the kids motivated, strong, and believe in them because they also push what I said. You gotta help them believe in themselves and believe that they're gonna meet that goal. None of them say all these people were behind. He's going to be there.
Yeah.
He's going to the NBA. He didn't get any negative vibes from.
That's great.
From these mentors, Ankrum, at a Country Day, he was there. So, Mike Wall was a phenomenal speaker for when the coaches started calling. But when you earn shooting time and you get a green light from Mike Wall, you're special. You know what I'm saying?
Right. No, I know.
And he was wonderful, and he went to bat and he was the athlete of the year. At that school, which is very rare for a basketball player. If anyone got it, I don't know.
Yeah.
But Sacramento did this, right? And so you can go to LA. Everyone's going to LA
or the Bay.
Yeah. Right. And so you got to be on Oakland Soldiers or all that.
Right.
I wanted a whole new. I wanted him to have something. You take because the coaches were great.
Yes.
And so when you saw Brandon and Brandon and Brendan running sets and their tryouts,
right.
that looked like a pro tryout.
Yeah.
And so when I saw that, it's like we can create our own brand right here. And all we got to do, Rose City has to do is have some success, right?
Yes. I speak on that a lot.
It's amazing. So you stop following people.
I love that you said that.
You do not need to follow. You take your brand. If YBA is nothing right now, you can come to YBA and say, I'm going to take YBA and I'm going to take them to the top. I got to believe in that.
Yeah.
And then they're from SAC.
Yeah.
And so YBA represents SAC. Let's get YBA on the map. You say those words.
Yeah.
We'll put Memphis on the map.
Right.
I mean, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. No, 100%.
I don't know what can happen, but that's the belief. I'm going to Memphis to put them on the map.
Yeah.
Who knows? They've never won a national championship. I mean, the NBA championship. Let's do that.
Right. And
you be the guy.
I like that. No, because I've had plenty of debates with different people on the show, especially Marcus Kirkland. Man, that's my boy. That's my guy. But we debate all the time
that's
about
good.
this because I believe just like you. I say, man, like, why create your own lane? Like, this is the thing. I'm like, the coaches here, the people here, we're invested in the kid. It's not just being invested in his ability. And again, no knock. This isn't, a knock on what the Team Lillards, the Jalen Green Elites, the Soldiers do, all that. They have a solid product, clearly.
Right.
But it's like, the reality is, and they know I said it to their face. I said it on an episode. They do have a quota. They have a standard they have to be at, right? And sometimes because they have to be at that standard, unfortunately, it can hinder your kid's success, right? As opposed to going to a YBA, Control Chaos, Rose City, these local programs that literally watch your kids grow up, that truly want to know who they are, who their parents are, things like that, and help them succeed. That's all. You
could be a great kid on Oakland Soldiers because Jalen did some time in Oakland Soldiers, but there was politics behind it too.
Yes.
So the millionaire dad kept putting his son. They had shared the same spot, but put his son into the spot. Again, I just don't get into the politics and stuff. You just do your thing. I'm here. He gave us free trips and we got great food.
Yeah.
So I was enjoying, just
mini vacation.
But when that season was done, we went back home and came back here to SAC because great players, it was always ignored. It's still ignored. You got to go be a great player where you can exceed. So why go to the Oakland Soldiers where they only care about the first 6? Mm-hmm. You could be you might be the best player, but you're number 10. You don't know them. You're newer, or you're not fancy, or whatever they like. Why do that? Why please that? I'm gonna go put my own show on. And Jalen's not fancy.
No,
he's boring.
But he's efficient.
But you know what I'm saying? But he don't got all this
blah,
blah, blah, blah. And so you got to put him somewhere else, right? Because they want all this bang, bang, bang. They think that has to, no, you don't. You just got to make baskets.
Yeah. 100. No, you're 100% correct.
And stop your man from getting there.
Yeah. And it's like you said, like that top 5 or 6 on the Soldiers, on Team Lillard, on and any of these fully 3SSB, those kids are phenomenal. You know what I mean? They are the ranked kids, whatever.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, if you're 7, 8, 9, okay, you might be really, really good, but it's really hard to see because you can't get on the court.
I don't care if you're getting 12 minutes on the court, they don't see you. Mm-hmm. You're not getting what you need,
right?
And it's not even getting you better,
right?
And so you just need to go get triple team somewhere else. You know what I mean? I'm saying,
right?
You're not going to triple team usually those teams. Mm-hmm. We can go to the competition level, but just go get triple team and figure out how to score, mm-hmm. how to get other people to score.
No, that makes a lot of sense with the ever changing landscape of college and basketball in general. Obviously, it's a worldwide sport at this point. I think we're second to soccer, right? But with college now, I with NIL, the transfer portal, and now with the new junior college rule, with now you can do 2 years. Well, at least they've approved it for this year. I don't want to jump the gun too much, but they've approved it for this year that you can play junior college and still retain all your years for the university level. With all these changes in the basketball system, I personally think the end game is college athletes, and this is the special ones, the ones that are going to get paid, basically, the NIL stuff. I think collegiate athletes are going to be now classified as professional athlete students, as opposed to what it used to be student athletes. It's going to be professional athlete students. Just from your perspective, do you overall see a lot of these changes as good, or do you kind of, be a little cautious for them? I'm just curious your outlook of all this.
I live in the world of change. Mm-hmm. I was the ER nurse, and things always change. Yeah, and your politics change, your politicians change, everybody changes, leaders change. So there's always change, and so I always start from me. I don't start from what they're doing.
Yeah,
I don't care about what they're doing.
Okay.
I don't have control over it. And if I want to have control, then I put on my suit and do the stuff to get there so I can have control. But I don't. Okay. I'm down here.
Right.
I have a kid. I'm a dad.
Yeah.
We're going to have success.
Mm-hmm.
You want to be in the NBA? So let's go.
Okay.
And so I have a rule. You don't chase money. You don't chase money. We're going to go down the path that's going to get you success. Look how they play on the NBA. See how they move. What do they call that? Position offense? I don't know. Right. Positionless offense? Yeah. I don't know. But this is what we need to get to. The way they're playing. I don't care about that. Now can I put them in front of some people who are good?
Yeah.
I gotta get him good and put him in front of some people that are good. I don't care how we didn't know what the NIL check was going to be.
Yeah.
And he didn't get much of one.
Right.
But we didn't care. He didn't ask about the NIL. Mm-hmm. There was never a question. We went to Washington State. He believed in himself. There was $2 million offers left on the table.
Really? Okay.
Several.
Okay. That's
he didn't care about the $1 million on the. That's what he used against me.
So I don't care about that. We don't chase money.
He didn't use word, but we don't chase money.
We don't chase money.
And I was for that. Yeah. I mean, I believe I love when he said that, right? Yeah. And so as a coach, we got to navigate in the NIL world. So if I'm an NIL, if I have players, then you're going to have to take the time, just like me with my team of nurses. And we have to, I want them to want to work. I want them to meet the goals. Let's get safe, quality care to every patient. Let's get them through the door. Let's just do that. I don't care all the rules behind that. I got a team that I need to win with. You leave, I got come on in, next guy, because I'm going to be a coach. Yeah. I'm going to train my team to win. Next guy. That's why I kind of like Memphis right now, because all these guys are hurt and they come in and play.
Yeah.
People are mad that they lost to Golden State Warriors, but they have 3 workers. They played 3 workers that day.
Yeah.
There was only 9 people ready to suit up.
Right.
And and 3 of them are rookies. You're not gonna. You shouldn't win. If you do win, then that's
great.
Crazy,
that's a bonus,
right?
but
yeah. You know. And then Jalen's 0 for 5. You ain't gonna win if he's 0 for 5.
It's true.
That's your only other starter. He's 0 for 5. You ain't gonna win. So but you can't. I mean, that's what you got.
You just got to figure it out and kind of navigate the landscape, right?
Yeah. So don't. I just don't get caught up in that kind of game. It just wastes your brain. Let's just go to the gym and let's do something, right?
Do you think it's good though that kids might be getting like more years of potential basketball?
I do like the because of JUCO college. Because I didn't like the JUCO route because the kids don't really cares about nothing. It's hard to put a good team on a JUCO level, but now I think you could.
Yes.
So I think the advantage is now you can go to Sac City and get a good coaching system and put things in place. And now these kids can or be willing to play together because they didn't lose. They're not
lose
desperate.
their eligibility.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And so now they can go get a 4-year college. And now
you get all 4 years.
And you'll get a competitive. Still can get a competitive person for our NBA because our NBA needs great players.
Yeah.
To success. So it's when you can elevate the level and knowing we're playing in that game, you'll have success. You just got to be a better coach.
Yeah.
You got to change your style.
And I was going to say, like, JUCO's going to be, JUCO spots are now about to be extremely competitive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, where maybe let's say pre-pandemic, right? Pre-COVID, like where kids felt like, oh, I'm just going to settle for JUCO. You know what I mean? Now it's like, no, you ain't settling.
Yeah, you might not get it.
Yeah, you might not get
so
that.
So there's that disadvantage because if you love basketball, you could at least play JUCO.
Yeah.
Now, if you love basketball, that's not there for you no more.
Yeah.
I don't even know what's going to be there for you.
Right. That's
the negative side is your basketball career might be done at high school.
Yeah, and that's what I try to inform my kids of and keep them up to date with all that stuff. You know what I mean? I want to do a video reaction real quick. Joe, can you pull up some of Jay's highlights? I want you to, kind of look at your son playing and walk my audience through it. When you're watching your son perform, do these things, just play good basketball. What are you thinking, as a dad, as / coach, / critic, but like, I kind of wanted people to kind of get in real time Pop's watching his son play in the NBA. So yeah, Joe, whenever you could pull that up or some, quick few minutes of highlights. Yeah, turn this volume up.
Wells, tip it, lob for Jalen. Great two-lane basketball game. Oh, the rim. The rim on this end, on the Grizzlies end.
I remember that.
Yeah. Shoot.
Okay.
Like you said, simple.
Yeah.
He's a good player, isn't he? Wells just looked like a seasoned vet.
It's nice to see him. Sometimes just go ahead. If you're feeling it, take it.
Right.
And now off the bounce, he drives, he hits, he fouls.
Yeah.
Goes with the in and out dribble.
And these are things like I'm sure you worked on them with, and you're like, watching it. And
I'm happy that he's not just shooting a three.
On the floor to get back into this game.
Because Jalen really wasn't a 3-point shooter first. He was actually a driver,
slasher,
passer. midi type shooter. And I think that if you're going to become a regular 30-point scorer in the league, you're going to need to have all three. You got to be able to shoot at all three levels. But when you can shoot with your hand in the face like that,
yeah, pretty good.
yeah. So there you go.
Ooh, ouch.
Yeah.
5 of his 17 here in the third quarter.
All right. There you go.
Well,
What you do? Okay. I wanted to see you dunk it.
Right.
Dads are never happy, so you had to.
Yup, you had to dunk it.
You had to dunk that one. But there's a basket. I'm going to take it. I'm not going to just give it up. Okay.
Able to retain possession.
Great pass.
Dang,
Wells.
phenomenal pass. I sucked in two. Give it to my man, my other
Great
fellow
pass.
rookie.
Yep.
Bam.
And he's really surprising a lot of people too. He's playing well.
Gonna be my rookie of the year competition.
Yep.
Rebound scores. Poole running long.
Playing defense.
I can't get this thing all right.
What? Oh, here.
They're already at 10 here with
There we go. That's my tricky one.
It's all right.
It's all
I
good.
see you set me up.
a lot of time left in this first
Thanks,
half.
Nick.
14 assists.
No, I like that.
From mid-range.
The spin around.
Yeah, he's
step
to this
back.
point. Most
And you
of
heard
his
on the
shots
episode when he
have
said
come
it
on
like made him
catches
mad
and
that they were like he couldn't play defense in college.
yeah,
And he was
yeah.
like, I played defense. What are you talking about?
I was laughing because you couldn't stay on the floor and wall. You didn't play defense. Yeah, he has a
Great pass.
that
Out in the lane,
step
great
back,
find
the
by
passing.
Jalen Wells. Grizzlies distributing.
And is it like when you're watching this, is it like it's bringing back memories of stuff too, where it's like, oh, I remember him doing that when he was little, and
Yep. And you can see the little drills that you bring up. Nate and
yeah,
all those guys are Dante are teaching them. You can see it utilized right here in the game. All right, get those easy too.
he dunked it that time for you.
Yep.
Williams, Wells, Edie, the weak side rebound.
There you go.
I do want him a couple more.
Yeah.
See, that's probably what you see. Okay. What am I going to do?
Hey, he made it work. He made it work. All right.
Figuring it out. Okay.
Big body.
I've been into the gym. Now I'll throw my spin up.
That's that weight room.
Yep. Yep.
I still think it was crazy, like even when I saw him, because watching his growth spurts, it's just so crazy. It's like, man, like,
yeah, he.
And talked about how, as you see a bucket there and a foul by Wells,
Eagerly and Strother into the game for the first time tonight. Nice inbound play.
So we usually do this on the baseline.
Great play.
And they set up their
Nice.
Huff steps out
And they
to get
set a
Saric.
play
Five
up
to shoot.
similar
Bounce
to
pass
that
to Wells. Yes,
last game, his last
they did.
basket
Yeah.
was like that.
Pippen.
All right. Cut.
Cut. Nicely done.
One of the things that we talked about at shooter.
And that's what I wish he would do more.
Yeah.
I'm
You're
okay.
back in. Jalen Wells
Great
back in.
pass.
Clark. Grizzlies get a whistle.
I'm a ball movement fan.
Yeah, with Jalen, we on the teams that we put him in where he was more dominant, it was the game was getting everybody the score.
Getting everybody
So
involved.
this person didn't score. Now we're gonna figure out how to get this person points. So it was just a game.
Yeah.
We put another game in the game.
Right, that's good. That is good.
That doesn't work. Picked up his 11th double
And
double.
the truth is, he doesn't care about his stats, and he doesn't care. He's not worried about being rookie of the year or not.
He's just focused on the goal, right?
Don't chase the money.
Yeah.
Halfway through the
Just
second.
play
Love
your
that.
best.
Don't chase the money.
Osama keeps that
Play your
pivot
best,
foot.
and you'll
Wells
just
drives.
be where they put you
Yeah.
on the data sheet, right?
Yeah.
Jalen Wells.
Yep.
13th Pistons turnover.
Because you see so
Going
many people
downhill,
try so
feeding
hard.
Wells, cutting back door, BC.
Well, people love what. Let's be real. People love what comes with
Yeah.
being an NBA player and all that stuff. But like you said, your son he loves the game.
Yeah.
That's the difference. He loves the
He
game.
loves the game. He loves winning ahead
Yeah.
of stats.
Yeah. Yeah.
They look without Nick Claxton.
But he is proud of himself when he does.
Lob for Jaron.
He does those things.
Right. And he should be, as he should be.
Play against the same type of team, and they responded a lot better.
Well,
Hey.
scores. The Grizzlies last year, a lot of different plays. Oh, yeah. Laravia on the deck against Buzelis, steps through, extra pass.
Fuck it.
Wells
love
for
when they
three.
do that extra pass.
Jalen Wells.
What I love about your son that people might not be noticing on the highlights, immediately ready to play defense right after he scores or after the play.
Painted area.
He's like right on it.
What a move by Wells.
And I try to tell my kids that I coach, like, that's, you have to do that. Like, you have to be ready. Like,
Laravia, he kept it in play.
Get down the floor because spacing is so key.
Jalen again for Marcus Smart. Morant against Williams. Got the step. Sets up Jalen Wells for three. Bingo! 1 point game with 2.1. Zaire for midcourt. Thomas.
all right, Joe, you can stop it.
Arabia. Step back three.
So, you know, we watched that, talked about it, but just, you know, you just speak on a little, you know, your last comment about it. But, like, you know, when you see that, you watch that, you're watching these highlights, you know, what are your thoughts overall? What do you think? What are you feeling? You know, just, again, it's got to be pretty cool and surreal to watch your son living his dream in real time.
Mm-hmm. It's just you just see the whole work. You can just see the journey. Mm-hmm. That's what you do see. You lay back and you know, when he did get the NBA, you just reflect on the journey. You see the whole journey, and so when you see him using the different skills in the game, you see the journey, and he's doing it against the people that, you know, you were watching on TV last week.
Yeah.
Now you're in front of them,
Right.
living your dream. This is what you want, and as a father, this is not even an NBA thing. So people always say, "I'm proud of each kid."
Yeah.
What they did, because they got to where they wanted to go, and they do well. You know, they perform well, and when you live where you were trying to work, I put my work here, and I'm having success here. Mm-hmm. And so just watching him have the success that we talked about, our goal was 3 level, that you could score at all 3 levels, that you're going to be a top man defender, and we got to work on our team defender, but you're going to play man. Because that's in the NBA, that's what it was a lot earlier when you first started. It was man, hardcore man.
Yeah.
Right? So all of it that we put in place, you just watch it and unfold. And now you just hope they just have the confidence, you know, that no, you belong here. And that's the conversation now we'll just have now. You belong here. Your work, this is what it was all for.
Yeah.
This is yours. This is not you don't have to say, they call you rookie.
Yeah.
But this is your place. You earned it.
No, I want to frame this question. Hopefully, no, yeah. I want to say this. Like, I think the way you are, as a man, and the way in which you handle all of this, is extremely humble and extremely profound. Because obviously you have like the polar opposites, right? Let's say LeVar Ball, right? You could be the LeVar Ball and be like, look at my son and blah blah blah. Like, but you don't move like that, you know. And I know, and I think that's just who you are in your character, right?
Yeah. I said let them have all the light.
Yeah. That's what I was gonna say.
They can have all.
That's
the
what I was gonna say.
We're gonna be
like,
working right out here in the background.
Like, overall. How do you manage it? You know, I mean, because you know, you put your Facebook posts and all that, and, and I get it. You're just like, hey man, my son's doing great, proud of him.
Yeah.
All your kids, you know, but it's like, how do you keep that level of control for yourself? You know what I mean? How have you been able to kind of stay? Because I think through this entire process from your son and his journey, you've been extremely humble about it, and I just. I just wonder how. Like, you know what I mean? Because I do think it's very easy to kind of get swept up in your kid's success and, you know, kind of try to attach yourself right to it. But you, man, you're the opposite.
I remind them that this year when they asked me, I said, no, you know, I retired this year.
Yeah.
He's in the NBA, I know, but I retired this year on December 10th.
I did see
That's
that.
important.
I did see that on your Facebook, bro. So they did celebrate your retirement. You're like,
right.
Hey, I'm still here.
So there's a competition. But then there's the have the success. So right. Yeah, we're competing. You know, there was a day because I never let my kids beat me. And one day he was injured, and so I took a chance. I said, "Hey, if you can beat me in this 100-yard, we'll run 100 yards. If you can beat me, then you can go back and work out."
Okay.
And then he lost.
Oh.
And now I said, you know, I'm 50 something.
Right.
I just beat you. I could tell everybody. Do you want to try this again?
Right.
And he goes, yeah. So I beat him again.
You beat him again? I was going to say,
and I said 2 weeks. You're out 2 weeks.
Okay.
And then we created workout stuff out on the lawn on how he's going to get back. But so it's just more competition. Still the competition. I'm still dad. Right. And you're still a son. You got to let that go. So you're in the NBA. So what? but we're proud.
Right.
Yeah. No, so it is. It's you're just happy. You just get happy that they're just there.
Okay.
But we all still have to live our own lives, and so I guess you could say it was a healthy detachment because I wasn't latched to his success.
Yes.
You know, maybe like LaMelo's dad. Right.
Yeah.
It didn't. No, my son's gonna be fine. When you guys show the camera, or you guys want to pass him the ball, he's gonna perform.
Right.
Because we put in the work.
Yeah.
And so you guys can everybody can have, you could be number one in the nation and what else, you can have all those numbers, and he might be 262.
Right.
It don't matter. Come play us.
Yeah.
Put them on the floor, and then it happened here. People just ignore him all the time, and you're looking at this guy was clearly the best, but when he went to camps, we just blow him away.
Yeah.
We just blow the camps away. So, so we knew, he knew, I knew that.
Just the rest of us had to find out.
The rest of us had to.
We had to catch up.
Yeah.
No, like because I remember like summer league he did well, and then he had that one like tournament weekend he did in Canada, and he dropped like 51 points. Yeah, it was just, it was pretty interesting because even when he was at Sonoma, I heard how he was doing because I'm cool with the coaches at Sonoma State. I've sent them kids before and whatnot, but no, they were saying, hey man, Jalen like dropping 20, he's doing this and doing that, and I was like, really? Like not to doubt his abilities, I just didn't know he made such a like significant jump. I just and to see his progression, like I said, was just really cool from a kid. I tried to recruit sophomore year to now I'm watching him like.
He even at Sonoma, he could have scored more, but he was into getting everybody involved, and that's why they liked him. Yeah. That was part of why they did well, because he could have been someone that just been ball dominant, but he chose not to be ball dominant. He chose to get everybody else involved, and he was happy with whoever scored.
Okay,
he just wanted W at the end on the board.
I love that. I want to few more questions before we get out of here. I wanted to talk to you kind of circling back to the AAU side of it and just your perspective, because, again, I'm with his journey, I'm sure you've seen it all and seen enough. The biggest one of the hugest debates in this AAU system is the reclass system, right? Holding kids back.
Yeah.
And, being older and whatnot. Do you have a take on that at all?
I know that everyone. I talked to my parents. I said, how many times people told me to do 1,000 things. And I said, and I didn't follow the path. And I didn't follow the path because it was my selfishness. I didn't follow the path because I don't think that path is necessary.
Okay.
So so one of them was holding, if you hold Jalen back, he's going to be,
right.
And he probably would have been on a number, what we just talked about, number 2 in the nation or whatever that. Maybe he could have went a couple more camps. So that was, that he didn't go to those things, but he got to grow up with his friends, stay with his friends, have his own life, his own journey, and he's young in the league.
Yeah.
And so he's on time.
Yeah.
And so your goal, no kid has reached the bar with me.
Okay.
I always raise the bar.
Right.
So they never reach it.
Right.
That's life. You never reach the bar until you die. Or that's what I believe.
Right.
As I'm still trying to reach a bar. And so if I'm still trying to reach a bar, you all gotta keep reaching bar. Reach for a higher bar, and then we're gone one that next day. That's how it goes. And so, I don't believe in reclassifying. I don't think that you should. I think you get your kid to the gym and you go work out. It will come.
Right.
It will come. You just don't. If you're good, they're gonna find you because people want to win. These coaches need to win. These coaches need people
job.
on. You know what I'm saying? So you create a winner, they will find you.
Okay.
They will find you. And so that's I always look forward. I can't look back. I can't take a shortcut. If I take a shortcut, I feel I'm cheating. And I can't cheat. For me, it feels like cheat. They gave you a term. I said like they like to create words that make you feel better, but that doesn't just because they gave you a word to make you feel better.
Yeah. It's still holding your kid back.
It's still holding your kid back.
Yeah. No.
So if you come back and you told me you held your kid back, I'm still cool with you. I ain't mad at you. I ain't looking at you like you're lesser than me.
No,
I still
100%.
see you on my ground. You made a decision, but that's,
and everybody's journey is
that's
like
what we do as parents. We have to choose what's best. And I just showed you why I choose this way. I never go back. I always push forward. And then we either have it or we don't. But that's just.
I guess my biggest gripe with it is and I've talked about this on the show a lot. Like there's times when you need to. I personally think like I've had kids who very few, but I've had few kids that were reclasses on my holdbacks on my teams, but a lot of it was because of maturity issues. They just weren't. Some like one had severe ADHD. You know what I mean? Good kid, but just couldn't pay attention to nothing long enough. So, it was good for his maturity level, right? For school, it wasn't the motivating factor wasn't basketball.
I don't even agree with you that because if I was coach, I got multiple people who look that's different.
Yeah,
and maybe I might see this kid
right
as that, and I might make that suggestion to a parent.
Yeah,
this might be best for him, but
like if your kid's ready to play high school ball and
if you just want to go dominate and step on little kids,
that's
and then but what happens, a lot of those guys don't make it. Those guys don't, right? Because I see them, they're struggling because they're so used to dominating, they don't even know what non-dominating is. And
that's why it kind of circles into my next question I was going to ask you about, because again, this is kind of a hot button topic too, is they're doing, in the Olympics and kind of stuff showed this, they're doing that comparison between the Euro Cup and Euro style of youth basketball and teaching that they're the question's becoming, is their tactics superior to the U.S. tactics, right? And a lot of that is because, multiple reasons. One, they emphasize more on practice than they do games. They'll practice like 5-6 days a week. And, in AAU, you practice like 1 day a week and play like 9 games, right? And then 2, the coaches are more respected and revered, you know what I mean? Like, especially like in the professional Euro Cup circuits, like it's still basically, even though it's professional hoop, it's still like the college model. The coach matters more than the player. NBA, let's be real, it's kind of reversed. The guy getting paid $95 million has more weight than the coach, so the coach kind of has to figure out how to balance that out, which, I think hurts, but, it is what it is. And that's the business side of it. And then 3, the parental culture in those European countries is more supportive of the coaches because that's typically the elder, right? And especially I know because I've spent time in those countries, like the elders are they are the absolute. You know what I mean? It's like Old Testament. They are the end all be all. So, with all that being said, do you have kind of a
I think that I think number one, that is phenomenal. The 9 kids I said I'm working with, it is a mentor system. It's people who walk the path. I mean, people will look at me and I'll see people argue. They argue. And I call them Google Smart. I play with Google Smart people.
Right.
You play with them because they're gonna go Google something and come back with something.
Right.
They're gonna Google this and come back with something. And you're Googling this area right here that doesn't really matter. Right. It doesn't even touch you. And so I entertain myself watching them, and then I'll answer something completely different. It doesn't make sense, because I'm talking about down here about me,
right?
And what I'm doing with my people down here, because it's my elder. I learn from my parents. I learn from. I go find you to ask me about AAU. I don't know. I don't have an AAU team. Right. I don't know. So I'm gonna go find you for AAU. I'm gonna go, and I always say that. Go find. I told Jalen, go find Marcus Smart for defense.
Yeah.
Go find Marcus.
Yeah.
That's who we want, right? And so you go to the guy, and you don't want to get. I say I don't want to get rid of Marcus Smart because he's the knowledge and defense matters right now. And so I don't know unless you found some other guru in defense.
Yeah.
He has success in defense. He might have other issues.
Right.
But I like him. For me, we need defense.
Yeah. And he's got a career from doing it.
I'm just saying, you can't take that pedigree away.
Right.
And he dives and rolls all over the floor and bounces all over the place. I mean, you can't beat that part. You might argue about the offensive side. So I am very much for you. And when I said we pick the coach, the rule is, and I told all the 9 people, I said, once we pick our coach, we live and die with their decision. I'm pissed off at coaches all the time.
Yeah.
But we made a decision. Right. If I'm the leader, I always say, if I'm leading, or if 2 people act like they're in charge and I'm here, I'm supposed to be in charge, but you can have it.
Right.
What do you need me to do? There's many ways to skin a cat, but someone has to lead.
Yeah.
So we're not gonna argue on who leads, but if they're older, that's who you go to.
The natural mentorship.
I've been through this. It's funny. I'll laugh and I'll say, but I've been through this. But I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to fight you. I'm just going to laugh at you. That's what wise people do. They laugh at you. You don't even know they're laughing at you. We might all wise people, the old people.
Yeah.
We go in a room and we're just laughing at you.
Because
that's what we do. I'm gonna tell you, that's what we do. When old school people, we shoot our little jumper, and you guys are running all over the place and diving on the ball and getting all bloody, and we just shoot our 1-3.
Yeah,
and then we come back and we talk about you. So no, it's okay, but no, I believe in I live and die by that.
By the coach, and like I said, the emphasis on practice more than game.
And then practice. Practice.
Yeah.
That's like I even made me say hell because it's all
true,
about
right?
practice.
Yeah.
It's practice is everything. And that was the real competition. That's where Jalen got in trouble. When he didn't practice at a high level and I was there to see it.
Yeah.
That's when he got yelled at. We didn't yell at his performance at a game. The game, that's whatever.
Yeah, that's
the practice is everything, and then so what the Euro does have more. I mean, United States, we got issues.
You're behind.
So don't get my politics side.
Right.
But
but that's the cult. That's what I'm saying.
We're creating babies.
Yeah.
So we want to create babies. I love you. Everybody got to love. I can't. No. If I'm black, you don't like me, you don't like me. I don't care. I'm still going where I want to go because it's in America. Yeah. I can go where I want to go. So until you shoot me, hang me, whatever, I'm coming to my spot.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's just how I see. That's how I see the world.
Yeah.
And that's how I see each kid. And when I raise kids, I'm raising. My mom told me that when they called you that little N-word name, my mom sent me back out. She didn't tell me I could stay home.
Yeah.
She put business right back in the street and told me, say, black as a berry, sweet as a juice.
Right.
That's what I had to say. I had to yell that and feel good about that while walking down. Yeah, and that's how we went to school. And then if you had to fight somebody along the way, you had to fight, but you still had to go back to school.
Yeah.
There was none of this baby stuff.
And I agree with you on that. Like, that's one of the other bigger topics. Our generation of hoopers, or you could say it, young men, unfortunately, seem to be getting softer and softer and softer. I see it. I'm coaching it day in, day out, and I still have old school values in me. Like I said, I'm 41 years old, so I'm kind of that tweener. You know what I mean? I'm still
at my daughter's age.
I'm young enough that I can still, I still understand, what the kids are doing and stuff. But I'm old enough now where I'm like, gosh, y'all got to get mentally tougher. Y'all got to get like this is a big bad cold world, man. You can't, especially in sports. Like you can't.
That's why I laugh. I mean, because I said I'm gonna thank you guys for making everybody weaker.
Yeah,
it makes my job easier to make my kids strong.
Yeah.
Right. Anyone who works with me, if we want to just go, we got this, because everyone else is they're crying or something. So let's just keep on moving. We will rule the world.
Yeah,
because we're still gonna be strong right here. There's no, you can't really argue. But if I'm a leader, I want you weak, right? Because now I can give you, follow me. I scare you, give you fear, whatever, make you guys fight amongst each other.
Yeah.
And then I just collect my check.
Yeah.
And get where I want to go.
Yeah.
Because y'all are down here.
Right.
But I always say, for me, I'm going to get up here. And so I'm going to be up here. If you come with me, we'll go up here. It might be painful.
What qualities would you say make a good coach? You know what I mean? Because I'm sure you've seen me coach, but my coaching style, I'm gritty. I'm passionate. I'm loud. You gonna hear me in the gym. You know what I mean? But I'm as loud as I am on the negative side. I'm just as positive. I'm the guy clapping, cheering for my kid when he takes a charge or dives for the ball. I'm out there just as animated, right? And every coach, has their voice, right? You have kind of the more cerebral coaches or soft-spoken coaches, passive-aggressive coach, whatever.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not that. I'm more of the, I would say, the Greg Popovich, Bobby Knight-ish, I'm that Thompson, George Thompson. I'm or John Thompson. I'm that kind of, gritty guy. But I'm always curious from the parents' perspective, like, what do you think? Because to me, and just get my little soapbox real quick, but it's like, my sons as they get older and they're starting to love basketball or whatever. I got a 6 and 11-year-old, right? Yeah. They're starting to love basketball. And I don't want to coach them all the time. Like, I want them to get different coaches, different feel. I know what I look for in the qualities of my coach. I want someone that's going to hold them accountable. I do want someone that's going to, light a fire on them when they need that, things like that. I'm curious for your side of it. Like, what do you think make up what makes a good quality coach?
So for me, the emotion is I call that's just like a part of your brain. The ration is behind it. So emotion is in front of it. So whatever you see in emotion, I don't see it.
Right.
I don't. That doesn't tell me a coach is bad or good for me.
Okay.
So you can be a yelling coach, you can be a quiet coach, you can be a coach that cries, you can be a coach that smiles. It doesn't really matter. It's the emotion, however that plays for you.
Okay.
I'm looking for results.
Okay.
So I'm looking at how you, in your practice, how you practice. Does it translate to the next level? And how do you encourage that? And can you make my person better? And so if I can drop my person off with you and you're getting better, which was Rose City, or Danielle, because he had the shot that kind of went, and she pulled a little camera out and said that your pinky was in the wrong spot. So that person got better, right? And so or you take a team and you watch them, play crappy, and all of a sudden, you come the next day and a little bit better, and the next day a little bit better. My kid's better. I put my kid on your team, and I see them that they're getting better. I see that they're in the team. I think that you should coach. That there should be a lot of running, and it should kind of match what you're going to see in the game.
Okay.
So I want to see a lot of that.
All right.
And then I like to see coaches that can flex their game plan, because I have my team's all short and I'm playing a bunch of tall people, or I have that I don't have to force my same play thing. We got to run our play. You
got to be able to adjust and make adjustments and adapt.
Yeah, and then you can teach, but you also got to teach your kid to know how to make the adjustment. Yeah. And so when you see that, you got a good coach. And so it's deeper. So you have to have a little bit of coaching knowledge to help make those decisions, which is why I offered my service to these other people, because we'll find the right high school coach for your child.
Yeah.
And so a good coach is that if you're leading and the people want to be with you and they want to meet your goals, you're a good coach. You have to figure out, you as a coach have to figure out how to get that kid to play for me. And if you're going to do it in this NIL world, you have to get people. It's your job to inspire. It's easy to blame. You can blame the rest of the world if you want to. But your job is to be able to inspire, motivate your kids to play for you.
Right.
And so we want to win. So you need to write that goal real big on there. I don't like losing.
Yeah.
That's now, once we agree that winning is the only thing we get to do.
Right, right.
If you have other things that you think we should do to get here, sure, we'll have a conversation on the side here.
Right, right.
Right? But this is what we're going to do to win. I need you to throw yourself on the floor. I need you to dive yourself on the floor. So maybe I'll reward something that's not rewarded. So I'm not going to reward. I don't care how many points I didn't reward my son for that. Yeah. How many passes he got, how many assists he got. And I'm going to talk to my point guard about that.
Right.
And that's what I need from you. I'm going to pull you out. And that's holding them accountable, because you're not.
Yeah.
I don't care how great you are. And I don't care that I got to lose the game. You're not my point guard right now.
Okay.
I need one.
Right.
And so I'm pulling him in to be your point guard. I'm teaching him a lesson because I'm going to help this guy to the next level. That's what I'm doing as an AAU coach.
Yeah.
I'm getting you ready for the next level. When they see your stats or 14 assists, 10 assists, 12 assists, 18 assists a game, and your team is winning, who's this point guard?
Right.
That you got. And so I think that's it. If you got positions, then you're teaching them positions.
Right.
If you have a defense philosophy, that defense philosophy should be big up on the board. This doesn't happen here. That's about it. Your emotion, for me, emotion doesn't matter. When someone tells me he's mean, I don't even listen to that. I just want to know.
I get that reputation. I'm a mean
winning.
coach. He's yelling.
He's always winning. I don't understand. That's what Mike Wall.
Right.
But his team always goes to the playoffs. So if I need my son to be seen, I need to get to the playoffs.
Yes. So you need to put him with someone that maybe can do that.
That's all I want from you right now.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to put you here. I'm putting the gamble that this team is going to get you there, but I'm putting the gamble because you, on a consistent basis, get somebody into the playoffs.
And it's interesting you say that because, and I'm really glad you spoke on those points because, again, this is as egotistical as anyone might take this take that I'm about to say, but no, a lot of my teams win, right? I think most people, they can say whatever they want about Chris Collins, but when you play a lot of my teams, they win a lot more than they lose, right? And shout out to all the players I coached. That success is due to you guys and me, you guys allowing me to coach you, and the parents supporting me, right? But I will say this kind of in my own space. Unfortunately, in AAU, it's becoming like what you said, like winning and developing is still not enough. You know what I mean? Like even if they're seeing their kid's success and they're winning and they have a coach that is preparing them for every single step of their journey, it seems like more and more is still not enough. You know, kids want to bounce here, or you know, the grass is greener somewhere else. You know what I mean? Like that's just becoming more and more prevalent culture.
I just build that into my system. I was happy you go. When I was a nurse and I was a manager. Yeah, and you didn't want me to go, and I'm gonna consistently have the conversation about let's get there. And then you get irritated, you go tell another leader that I'm being mean or whatever. It doesn't really matter. I'm switching shifts. Okay, great. I'm quitting. Okay. Next man up.
That's what that's
it's all we can do. We're gonna meet the goals today. I will. You can wear these kind of shoes and you can wear it up like this, or you can put this in. I don't care. As long as we meet the one thing, which for me was safety, quality, and we need to get people back. Yeah. To the dock. If you went to that, I don't care that you even have your cell phone in your hand. I don't care. Right. The point is that long as you're delivering those things, and as a coach, this is what we're going to do. This is not acceptable. That's all. That's all I can say. And if you're a winning coach, then I don't know what to say. If all the people keep leaving and you're losing, then you got to make a change. You got to look in the mirror. You got to look at yourself. Okay, they've changed. Now I have to work with this group of people in a different way. And so when the technological world came in and everybody had their phones and all that stuff, things changed. Yes. And I had to make the adaptation to how do I have success. Stop getting mad at every time someone's in the phone. But wait, they're still working. They still got that work done. They still did this and managed to be able to use the phone at the same time. That's what's wrong with that. Right. You're right. And you had to adapt to that. And so it was just an adaptation process. But it was me now have to accept there's no new world. Yeah. So that's a coach. Coach, you got a lot of work. It's a coach. You guys are something. I mean, if you can keep on coming back. The next year, the next year, the next year, or the next year, and the next year. I don't care what people say. That's a crazy dude.
So I'm a little crazy.
You don't say you gotta leave him alone, let him have his space, because he keeps coming back.
Yeah, I just love basketball, man, and I do love working with kids, and I do love. That's part of why I made this show. I love sitting down with people, listening to their stories. I love connecting. And yeah, I mean, I think there's worse things to be obsessed with other than basketball. Yeah, it's like, so yeah, this is just something I am truly passionate about. But yeah, I don't know, I'm big on, saying the things that I think a lot of people don't get to say or coaches get to say. I'm big on telling parents and players, if you find a coach that is checking all the boxes and, like you said, getting the result, and I guess maybe maybe I'm just biased of it because I did this too when I played. I felt that I had to do it was a disservice to my coach, my AAU coach or whatever, to just bounce because I got great all of a sudden. You know what I mean? Because it wasn't all of a sudden. You know, this person helped me along the way. So I felt I owed it to him to go out there and be a good basketball player, be the best version of that, and pay respect to that. And I guess it's similar to how we hope, our kids look back at us as parents, because being a parent it overall is a one-sided love. For, you know what I mean? Like you said, your kids could grow up and be these successful adults and not ever say thank you, dad or mom. That could. That's not realistic, but they could. And that's a realization you kind of have to come with as an AAU coach. You can help a kid all the way, this whole way, and he can just never be like, thank you or nothing. That's never happened to me, but I'm just saying I know it can feel that way.
Yeah, I call it Dax, song about a man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're out there. You got the only thing that really matters is that you provide for your home.
Yeah,
I accept that.
yes,
That's a badge of a man.
yeah,
And so when you're a coach, that I'm putting out good people, and they're hoping in their next level wherever they go. That I took some time and worked on their character, and so long as you see some progress in somebody, that's all you can do as a coach. So I was a leader most of my life, and that I just developed everybody to become better. I didn't get caught up in you need to say thank you. It doesn't matter.
right.
It's nice when someone says thank you. Matter of fact, I sometimes I do get mad if you do say thank you. I don't want you to say, but you know what I'm saying. I don't know.
Right.
But that's not. That's what I'm supposed to do. And so when you're a coach or a leader, your goal is to go get the results that you're here to do. We're all here. We signed up because this is what we were going to come go do, and so we all accepted that our roles on what we're going to do to go do that. So go do that. I'm not looking for a pat in the back. If you are, then you're there for a different reason.
Right.
You know, there are people who just love all the attention.
Yeah.
You know, whatever. If that's what you.
100%. And that's where I tell parents, you got to use discernment on, finding the right coach or the right culture or the right team, because, with the way youth sports have grown in this country, and especially youth basketball in particularly, you as a parent, you got to navigate it. Like you said, you got to kind of figure out, okay, does this work? Does this not work? Who's like, what's the character of this coach? What's the character of this person? So I'm big on trying to, on this show, advise people on like the things to look for, that can be good or bad. And ultimately I tell the parents, it's your journey. You're gonna you have to take a lot of variables into it. You got to figure out location. You got to figure out, like you said, level. If it's high level, super travel, or just stay local. Position, right? Like if your kid is a point guard and there's a team of 7 point guards on that team, probably don't want to do that team, right?
Or they might offer another position. Do you want that?
Yeah, so I do say there's a lot of variables and things you have to think about in navigating your child. I really only have one last question for you before we do our shout outs and get out of here. How important is it when your kid's picking a high school, right? Because, that's kind of a big decision, even more so nowadays, right? Like, because some of your high school decisions can really make or break your potential future. So, I just curious on your outlook on that, how important in picking that high school and the fit and the coach and the system, how important is that?
That is the first most important decision that you're going to make as a parent now. Because if you're at a D5 school and your kid's dream is NBA, it's different, right?
Yeah,
if your kid's aim is great academics, basketball for fun, those are different decision making. So that's why I say, like, with the kids that I'm working with, the first goal is we're going to choose your high school, but we're going to go through all these steps. I call and say, did they show up at kids' place? Have you showed up? And they tell me that they have been. And so when I see that they're really following the journey, the parent is. So the real test really isn't the kids. The real test are the parents getting them there.
Right.
Because if the kid says, I don't want to go, and they're not going, I'm still blaming the parent. Right? So don't tell, when you call me back up the next time, then say, my kid doesn't want to do this no more. That's what you should tell me, right? So is it the kid doesn't want to go, you don't want to go? Right. Because my kid's going.
Yeah.
Right. And if he doesn't want to go, then our journey's done.
Okay.
So your high school is basically, I need a winning high school. But am I going to get on the floor at this winning high school? So you got a lot of work to do to get yourself ready to get on the floor at the D1 high school, because that's where you want to go to get to your next level. Now your AAU team, you can have a really good AAU team. And if your AAU team is tracking the attention, then your high school doesn't matter so much.
Right.
And so that's why I said it's kind of both. It's depending on you're riding what you got. I mean, if attention's coming from your AAU, and you're getting into those events, and you're at that level. You got those kind of players playing with you.
Yeah.
And you're playing against that kind of competition. That's perfect. Then you don't need your high school so much.
Right.
So you can just play for a high school that's going to meet some other thing that you need. Right. So so it matters. High school matters if that's the thing that you got. If you got an AAU team and you're already getting what you need, because it depends on where you want to go. And so it's there has to be a level that's putting you out there to play against competitive people, the best people, whatever one that's going to get you there. That's the one that matters. Have both. That's better for the person, because if you get both, number one, you have all the high school awards and stuff that come with that. That's fun to have awards. Yeah, and it's fun as a parent to watch them get all those awards,
because it's the validation.
Yeah,
and we as humans, we like validation. Yeah. Let's be real; it feels good. Like no doubt about that.
To see your basketball winning team in the little box every time other people come in, you can still you're still there. Yeah, or you got something on the wall, or your trophies up there, or your score year is up there, and that was you. Yeah. So there's that. Yeah. That's what high school is. Yeah. But that doesn't, just because you put all that stuff on that wall, depending on your high school, it might not be anything, but it's still good for you. It still feels good. But your AAU team better be good, right? Yeah. That AAU team better,
because it could showcase,
took you to that competition. So that's the parent. You see how it's more difficult for the parent? The kids don't know what they want. That's why do you say when we talk about going to the higher person, going to a mentor, going to someone more experienced, this is what they know.
Right. And try to give you the best
you
advice.
Don't know that. When my son's in the NBA, who can I talk to? Right. I don't know how to coach them in the NBA. Right. What you got to do this, son. Yeah. Dad, did you play in the NBA?
No.
I don't know. So I can act like I know.
Right.
So what we used to is just setting goals.
Yeah.
And I had a goal, and he met it yesterday. You just need to get eight points inside the three. Yeah. And as long as you're working on that, I know you're going to get 30 on a regular basis later, because one day your threes are going to keep falling.
Yeah. No, you don't. No,
you're going to get back to your 42%, right? Because he'll get back to that.
Yeah.
It's just 82 games. 24-second clock and playing and guard the best person. I mean, there's excuses for him. I'm not going to give that to him, and please don't let him hear this.
All right.
But, you see
he's going to clip this part.
Right. Yeah, clip that. But that, you see what I'm saying? Yeah. Reality, we know.
Right.
We know what you're doing. We know what hill you're climbing. And so, but I can't tell him his strategy. That's why I said go find Marcus Smart. Yeah, I can't. This is how you need to do it.
Like you said, find the people that have done this and done it well. Right. Yeah.
That's it. Listen to your coaches. Especially you got a coach that wasn't in the NBA. That's even better. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what else to say.
No.
Your fans got everything to say.
But they don't have the experience, right? They don't have the knowledge.
They are the true experts.
Yeah. Of course. Like, no, it's so.
And they got their gambling, money. So they're not really mad. Right. They're mad at the coach because they took your player out before they could meet the score that you need you put on the bet. So when you truly understand the true game of, you don't get upset, and then you tell your son the same thing, so they don't get caught up in what everyone else is saying. I just told him, focus on what your coach is saying and your teammates. Your teammates are going to let you know if you suck. Right?
100%.
I'm just saying. So if they're happy for you out here and you guys are having fun, then you're doing the right thing. Who cares what the rest of the world says?
When you spoke, and this question just popped because you said it, and there's, like I said, there's 2 more questions because I have this, and then I want you to talk about the Jalen Wells elite thing and all that moving forward because I want to for sure promote that. As a parent, because parents use this excuse a lot when it comes to AAU to me, and I don't like it. 'Cause they say, and maybe you might see it different. I try not to live in an echo chamber, so I'm always welcoming opposing views.
Yeah. No, opposing views is necessary.
Yes, but like let's say one of my 6th graders or 7th graders or whatever, the parent comes to me, team's winning, doing successful, everything's going well. They come to me and the kid's playing plenty of playing time, whatever, but he's not scoring enough points, whatever. The parent comes to me, is like, he says he wants to quit the team and do this thing over here, right? They put the onus on the kid, right? Instead of them, what it really, I think it is, they want to go somewhere else because their kid's not scoring enough, but they put the onus on the kid. And you hear this a lot in high school, right? Like they're like, he wanted to go look at X team and we want to support him. And I'm like, so if you're a 16-year-old wanted to go drive his car with his feet, he just felt like doing that. He just felt like driving a car with his feet. You're going to be like, well, it's what he feels like doing. So no, you would tell him, hell no, you don't drive a car with your feet, but you do it the right way because I don't want you to get hurt, right? It annoys me. And I guess my overall question to you is just, I'm sure you had to make some decisions for your son along the way. Like, nah, we're going to do this. Of course you took his input, but it's like, nah, we're going to do this. This is what's going to work. This is what I think is best. And I've done the research. This was best. Can you speak to those parents or speak to parents on that aspect of where, like, hey, sometimes mom and dad have to make the decision for you, because we see the bigger picture. Right. I just wanted you to, maybe give that perspective and talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's just more important that you see that it is your perspective, right? So if the kid is trying to opt out because something's not happening or you're not happy, that's different. I'm the parent and I'm not happy because my kid's not scoring more and I want to move them. Well, that's just the parent.
Right.
That's something you can't fix. If we're talking to the parents, don't say that.
Right.
If your kid is not scoring, and you need to have a conversation with the coach, talk to the coach on how do we get Junior to score.
Yeah.
And if you have a good coach, that's a good reason to tell. He's going to tell you what I think, and if he's able to tell you pretty quickly what he thinks, what's happening,
if he does this, I think he'll be.
That means he cared about you. He knows what your kid is doing and not doing. That means, if he doesn't know what you're talking about, he's not scoring. He doesn't. If he doesn't know that, then it might be okay.
To
leave because this guy doesn't even know your kid.
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna know when someone comes up to me when I was in my nursing thing and tell me about Bob. I can break him down.
Yeah,
I can break him down, even though there's 120 people.
Yeah,
because each one mattered.
Right.
And so if you're a coach, AAU coach, and everybody on the team matters, doesn't matter where you saw them on the spectrum of where their success can go. That I'm gonna help you get better. Your parent should be supportive of that. So a parent should, if they have a problem with something that Bob is not doing, their son is not doing, they should have that conversation with the coach and listen to that coach feedback. And then from that feedback, make a decision. But don't pull Bob is not going to score anywhere.
Right. I heard Joe. If he ain't scoring there, he go score anyway. No, that's true. Like, because that's what I'm saying. I tell parents, like, you have to make these decisions for your kids, and sometimes they might not like it. Okay, like my son, if he could wake up every day and eat cotton candy for breakfast, he would do it. But I tell him, no, you cannot have cotton candy for breakfast every day. So it's so strange to me. I just think in this AAU basketball space sometimes parents use that as a cop out, and I don't like it. You know, that's just it's a cop out when you say, well, you know, we're gonna let him make the decision. It's like, well, why? You haven't let him do that this far, and he's had success, right? And I'm just like speaking from my own anecdotal experience. Like, I'll get a kid, 4th, 5th grade, because I told you I typically try to start around that age. He finds success from 5th grade all the way to sophomore year of high school with me specifically. I mean, we're winning hundreds of games, just playing basketball. He's gotten better. He's on varsity at high school. He's killing it, whatever. Then somehow sophomore year, they're like, oh, he decided to do X thing, and we're going to leave the decision up to him. And it's like,
right.
You know.
So it's two things. It's either, like I said, either just copping out because they want to do something different. Yeah. And that's why they said that. Yeah. Or his weakness. So it's going to be one or the other, right? For me, on the coaching side, just next.
Yeah, that's
I told Jalen's at the end of the bench.
Yeah,
he's waiting. so leave.
Next round, you say thank you.
So I could get over. I could be the next guy.
Right.
So you got to build a relationship with the parents if they're going to have a conversation, and then we can get to know each other. When I went to Rose City, I talked to them all the time. I talked what I thought was good, what I was bad, not in the negative of changing the game, but helping them, navigate by negative people, because there was negative parents. Right, yeah. And so I would be transparent and speak for the parents what they think they're seeing, and then present that to the coach so that they can address that.
I could see you being a great parent because your personality and everything, you're kind of like one of those glue guys, those glue parents. You might be sitting in stands like, you hear mom or dad like, no, that's bullshit. And you're like, well, actually, that's a good decision because of X, Y, Z. I can see you. I can definitely see you being that.
Because I could go. It's called abundant mentality.
Yeah.
It's a win-win. Mentality. So I always say, when I lose, when I got to compromise. So you shoot to win. That means we both get some pie. Right. The same amount.
Right.
But sometimes it's gonna be. But my voice changes too. Yeah. And everyone knows. When I'm not playing right now. I'm in charge, right? And so now I'm not that guy,
right.
And so if I hear a negative,
right,
in the crowd all the time, you just move.
Yeah, you should.
I don't even want to talk to you. I don't need this.
Right,
your kid. I told you that we can go to the gym. I know this guy, but if you don't want to do all that, then that's. I feel bad for the kid that he's not getting that support. But that's where most kids fail. It's the parents. That's why I kind of started this off.
Right.
We get some credit.
Yeah, you do.
I don't. You don't have to give it to me.
Right.
You can put it all on him.
Right.
But
he knows
the work that we had to do.
He knows
is real work.
And then, the last thing I wanted you to talk about was the, Jalen Wells Elite, and that's something that's happening this season, and kind of, I guess, for the Sacramento kids and people listening, what maybe what the outlook is and what you guys are looking to do, and just what's the expectation and what's the plan?
So I always say the anchor of everything is gratitude. Gratitude. So it's a big word for me. Always remember the people who got you there.
Yeah.
And so it's thinking the little guy. And they're not even a little guy.
Yeah.
When I say little guy, it's not a little guy.
Yeah.
You think they're a little guy.
Right.
But if you went to my job, when I retired, there was probably more security guard and EVS people showing up,
right,
than there was the nursing. But there was, you know what I'm saying? Because I talk to everyone, because everyone matters.
Yes.
And so, all of these people who help support that journey and what's supportive of that journey is gratitude, and that gratitude is what I wanted to hear. Rose City. Well, I could not find a good AAU team. So there was YBA, and then there was all that pissed me off, right? And so finally,
I'm glad I wasn't in that boat.
Yeah, because I didn't know
Right.
YBA
Yeah,
yet.
yeah.
I just knew that you guys existed.
Yeah.
And that was where we were going to end up. But then when I got to Rose City, and then they were brand new. They were working out their system.
First ever team.
So I have to. So when the COVID came, they found a place. They found Idaho. Or was it Iowa? Idaho.
Yeah.
And
they were hustling like us too. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they did.
And so I don't know YBA what you guys do, but that's that we were able to survive. These kids that were in that period had a place to go, right? And then he also got some film for him. Got the I can't remember what that old guy is. He's funny. He works he's in the Bay Area a lot, but I think he's a writer.
Oh, Jerry Freitas.
Yes, that
Jerry
guy.
Freitas.
That
Jerry
guy,
Freitas.
actually,
Yeah.
But he found hotels.
Yeah.
In COVID to have basketball going.
Nice.
I mean, it was it was obviously a hotel they clean out.
Yeah.
But
you find a way.
And you're playing basketball on a rug. But
you find a way.
You know what I'm saying? And so so those people that do that, they realize what was important. And so because I seen so many kids when that dream was gone, I don't think really people understand that when these kids are in any sports, when you take that away, what that does. That's almost you might as well just shoot them in the head.
Yeah.
A lot of them.
It's like chopping an arm off.
It was tragic. It was the most tragic period in my time, and they're not letting parents come and see their people dying in the hospital.
Yeah.
Those two were the most.
Right.
They hurt.
Yeah.
And I don't hurt very often, but
Right.
those two things actually hurt. But it's gratitude, and so that's why
you're starting a program
so with Brandon, we just want to get a team and put it under Jalen's light. Because Brandon pretty much told me that thank you for everything we did, and Jalen has a key, can come in to do whatever he wants to do with us, and so I want to return that favor. And there's another person, Alicia Harris, I want to give a shout out for.
Yeah, big shout out to Alicia.
She takes anyone in the streets, and she's another special one because they don't always pay, and they're the most non-compliant, never do what they're supposed to do groups of people. Those are the ones that she has to deal with all the time.
Well,
but she has to
and the cool part with Alicia, just got to put this out here, like she's one of the few female coaches out here coaching young men, young boys, and putting in the work and the due diligence. She and Alicia, like, she worked with me and worked with YBA, and I'm love her to death. We're cool as hell. But it's like, yeah, she's rough around the edges at times. But she truly does love what she does.
Look what she's dealing with. She's dealing with us, and she's dealing with boy. I mean, no, she got to be rough around.
Yeah,
she
100%. But it's like, no, she does deserve her flowers. She does deserve a lot of credit.
Yeah,
so I just morally want to put that out there for sure.
Oh, good, because I'm glad she got the little extra because she does a lot.
Yeah.
So Jalen, that's his other name that he mentioned, Alicia Harris, just because of everything that she's done. And anytime things broke down, Alicia always has something going.
Right.
Whether it was working out, whether it was having a game or just some skills training, that type of thing. So there was always a place to go with Alicia. So with we're gonna start this Jalen Elite. That's what this shirt is about. This is what the shirt looks like. And there's a white one that looks like this. It'll start with just the upper team.
Okay.
And it's not Jalen's right now. He's just supporting it with money. But his name it's not his brand. It's not. Right. It's Brandon's baby. But when Jalen continues on and does what he needs to do and gets a second contract,
right?
Then that's when we're going to look into
circle back, and
we're going to have a whole team.
Yeah.
Jalen wants Sacramento.
Nice.
He wants to. he wants everyone to be supported in Sacramento.
That's great.
So that's the one good thing. Everybody hang in there.
Right. Right.
When he gets that second contract.
Yeah.
He's coming to Sac.
And that'd be great to have, truly like a paid for, because and let me give my credit to some of my competitors, because I know them, and I'm on the directorial side, so I know, like, for instance, Play Hard, Play Smart. Been around a long time. They sponsor teams, and they won the New Balance circuit this past season, their top 7-2 team. But they find sponsorships, they find ways to take care of their kids and get things paid for. I know, like I said, on my end, I'm always working on trying to get sponsorships, donations, and try to take care of my kids. And that's, let's be real, that's just the biggest hurdle when it comes to high end AAU, is the financial side of it, where, like you just said in the show, hey, parents, you got to be willing to invest. Having someone like Jalen potentially, be down the road and being able to have a paid for program that can help high school kids get to that same road, that creating a lane. He's creating a lane that can help these guys. I think that's huge, and I think we need something like that in Sacramento, because it's so crazy to me how we outsource so much of our talent.
We have a good gift. We have some gifted people out here. Yeah, and so what I learned is that is wherever people want to put the light, so the media goes here. Yeah, that's what is great. That next door isn't great, but that might be the better place. Wherever the media shines their light, whoever they talk to on TV, that's the great person. But if you're angry, like me, then I'm going to be great, and everyone around me, we're going to be great. You can ignore us, but we're here. Right. And you gotta have that mentality. Yeah. You gotta have that mentality. If you can get mad at the whole system and want to go yell at them, scream at them, and whatever, that doesn't work. Just be great. Yeah. Just be great. We see each other right now, and that's what Jalen also wants to say. I see you guys. Yeah. And so, and let everyone else know that these guys are here. And so, and then Sac, just keep doing your thing. Let's just keep producing them.
I love that.
And so, and that's it. So let's just try to keep them here if we can.
No, I love that.
But I'm not going to get mad at anyone who sends them elsewhere, because if it works, at the end of the day, you got to get your results. Yes. You only got one life. Yeah. And so if you don't see it here, you gotta go. I'm not mad at Jerry McCain. Right.
Yeah. Clearly, can't be.
He's playing for Philadelphia.
Yeah, you can't be that mad at it.
Scoring like a dog. So no, you can't get mad at that. So there's no right or wrong. We just wanna try to make it Sac
and carve a way for our boys. Yeah. Oh man, I love that too.
But I never hold a grudge on anyone who makes other decisions, and that's why I say. You can resource me as a person to help you get through a difficult decision, but ultimately it's your decision.
You got to do what's best for you.
You got to do what's best for you and do what's best for your kid.
Well, with all that, I'm just coming to a close, but man, it was great having you here. I just can't express that enough. It was really great having you here. Thank you.
Thank you for inviting me over here.
No, man, thank you for taking the time. I'm really looking forward to this show. Releasing it. I think it's just think this conversation is going to help so many people. You know what I mean? And again, if you stay to the end of the episode, you're a real one. Really appreciate you. If you're listening to pieces and keep coming back, still a real one. Again, think of liking and subscribing. Definitely helps out. I will leave links to Mr. Wells' social media, so you guys, if you want to follow his journey, kind of see what we've been talking about with his son and the old videos and the work ethic he's put in, feel free. And obviously, I'll leave links for Jalen as well, so you can support him and follow his journey. Is there any shout outs you want to do real quick to anybody? that you can think of right now? I know we're talking a lot.
I'll give a little Dante. broken Dante with his knee surgery.
Oh, yeah.
Limping around. That guy has been everywhere for us. I put a lot out to him. Leon, he put us on the stage every once in a while. His kid is Darian. Ankrum.
Yep.
My man. And Shine. Took him to the limit, pushed him into the NBA. Gotta give Shine. And I might even have to give him credit for the 30 points because Jalen landed and worked with Shine
before the game
for a minute. So I gotta give him that shout out. And Danielle being the most pickiest, picking up for the littlest thing, and put that on videotape and make you look at it. I gotta give a lot of shout out to Daniel. Good people, genuine people, and then all the people who came and supported Jalen in Sacramento when he played the Kings. I appreciate all you guys out here.
All right, man. Well, again, thank you guys
and you.
Oh well, thanks. I appreciate that. I'm just a guy in the room. That's all, man. No. Again, if this helps you, please subscribe, follow, support. It's always appreciated. And stay safe in your journey. Keep striving, man. Keep pushing kids. Keep making things happen for yourself. Create your own lane. I'm big on that. And everybody be safe. We are out.